To open up when Jones is successful. If Pace can't stop Jones, Anthony Salgado and his quarterback rating of over 117 will have a field day. Run the ball effectively. The offensive line will have to create holes against Booker's vaunted defensive line known as the Wild Bunch. If Condredge Collins and Carlos Bethel get going, Jeremy Roberts can mix in the occasional pass, which could pay big dividends.
And as you just heard, that's pretty much how the game is really going to go down. Booker has to line up correctly behind this wing tee to be able to stop that wing tee offense that Pace will run at behind Collins and Carlos Bethel. Chad, I mean, pretty much run Pace, and that's all they do.
Well, you're right about that, but the thing is with the run and getting the wing tee going, and after a while that Jeremy Roberts can mix in a pass there. I mean, they're not your typical just run. They have some playmakers out there, and Roberts has got him out the early lead so far in the playoffs with his passing.
And you know, we talk about that last week's game when they played Cocoa. They won 28-23. Carlos Bethel was the guy that shined in that game, scoring 4 touchdowns. A lot of those guys were keying on Collins to make up, the big scoring attack, but it came from the other guy. Is this one of those things again where they key on one guy, they have to watch for the other?
Fred Gilmore's not going to do that tonight. They've watched the film this week, and I think that's where Cocoa said we're going to pick our poison and we're going to try to shut down Collins. Instead, they got a good dose of Bethel last week, and I think with these this defensive front four for Booker, they're going to be after these guys all night. They're going to be in the backfield all night like they've been all year so far.
And you know, for one coach around in our area, the only coach that's played both of these teams, John Sprague, head coach of Riverview High School. Sprague lost to Monsignor Pace 10-3 earlier in the season. He lost also to Booker 27-14. I talked to Sprague earlier today. He mentioned about this game. When you're playing Pace, the guys that are well-trained, well-coached, you have to be disciplined. You have to line up, and you cannot make mistakes.
You're exactly right. Anybody who thinks that you can use those games 12 and 13 weeks ago respectively, any way to gauge this game, the outcome, no, it's not going to happen tonight. I mean, these two teams are still finding themselves when they played Riverview, but I think what John Sprague gives you is a lot of insight into the Miami Pace program, and they're not going to make mistakes. That's what he's told me all week. Pace is not going to make mistakes.
And I know we talk a lot about, Pace's running attack, but we can't forget about there's one key guy on that defense that stands out, and you know all about him.
Jerry Millbrook, he's got him here. I mean, without this guy the past 2 weeks, against Lakeland Kathleen, he forces a fumble at the 10-yard line to preserve a win, and last week with the interception in the end zone, seals it up against Cocoa. Cocoa gets at it's Coco's here instead of Monsignor Pace. So Millbrook's the guy. Now, it's going to be interesting. Is Pace going to use him to spy on Jones all night tonight? I mean, are they going to bring him up, possibly 9 guys in the box tonight? Who knows?
You never know. We'll just have to wait and see for that. But, this is a game, too. Fred Gilmore, the head coach of Booker, he's been a busy guy throughout this whole week preparing for this great challenge against Pace. I had that opportunity of catching up with a guy that was named 3A Coach of the Year earlier this week, and I had a sit down. He talks about the season, recap the community, and here's part 1 of that interview. Look back on the past couple of years, Booker football has been talent, but the end result has been it's been short and no playoffs. But this year there's been a changing of the guard or just a new mentality within this team. What do you foresee was the turning point with these kids for this year?
I just think it's breaks. I think any of these, this year could have been last year, could have been the year before. This group was young. The changing of the coaches did have some effect, the continuity, but we kept the same assistants and they worked extremely hard, and we just got breaks, and we believe. Early on this season, the Venice game was huge in that third quarter. When the barrage happened, they started believing themselves, and good things happened then. The community started rallying behind them, and so now it's the avalanche.
Mm-hmm. And you look at this team too, it's not like all your games are blowouts. These kids have learned how to persevere, coming back in that Southeast game and that overtime, to win it with a touchdown pass. You had the close game with Osceola. They've had their fair share of blowouts to close calls. What does that say about these kids mentally?
They have strong character and they're resilient. And that's how they've been. You got to understand, Leroy Rouse left for a better situation. These kids were freshmen. They were looking forward to playing for him. A great coach, and Coach Rashid came in. We had our year of adjustment, and then last year, right before the season started, he's not there. And so they had to bounce back and make it through a season. We lost some players, we had some injuries. So this year, good things start happening to good kids. And so It's just great.
Now you guys going to Waters and the depth in the playoffs, you know, a Booker team hasn't seen in years. So now that you're there, what is it that you told these kids in pep game, or is it just, hey, these kids are just saying this is just another game?
Well, it's not Fred Gilmore, I'll tell you that. It's some assistants, especially Larry Richardson, that dress them down like we're in the Army every Monday. But these kids focus, their quest, as they call it. They have taken this step up, and they'll make sure that they're mentally ready. I don't know if we can play it any better than we've been playing the first 3 weeks. I hope so. This is a real big game, but the focus and the intensity has been unlike any other Booker team I've been around.
From game one, when you guys started off with Riverview until you ended up with Jefferson, what stands out to you? What has the season meant to you as a coach?
It has been great because before I'm a Booker coach, I'm a Booker fan. Fred Gilmore loves Booker. And to watch the way these kids have went about their business, the Riverview game, you know, starting right off the top, even East Bay when the Classic. These kids have handled it with class. They play hard. I think any team that have played them will tell you they've been very classy. And they play extremely hard, and they execute well. It's been a lot of ups and downs in there, some tough moments, but they beat some quality football team. Venice, Buchholz, Jefferson, Robinson, a lot of teams with a lot of wins. But this team has act like they're expecting it. At the end of the game, you don't see all that running around, taunting, and the rest of that stuff that goes on. Yeah, I know it's a reflection of our assistants, but it's a reflection of the kids and the parents.
We've got more of the pregame show coming your way, and also we have part 2 with Fred Gilmore coming after the break. Stay tuned.
Live coverage of Booker High School football is being brought to you by China Palace Express, LTM, and the Computer Room. Yo.
Welcome back to Tornado Alley, where the 3A state semifinal game is set to go off in about probably right around 17 and a half minutes that we have ticking down on the clock. The temperature continues to drop out here too, Chad, I must say. So.
Hey, it's not as bad as last year down in Venice.
You gotta say it. That's true. But it is great football weather, I must say so. And once again, we want to go back to, we finished up with Fred Gilmore right before that commercial break. We want to go back to Fred Gilmore for part 2 of the interview I had down with him. Talking about, you know, just the history of this school, you know, years ago, in '94, I'm sure the fans were galore here. Now we're in the '03. Back again, you were telling me just the other day, you know, there's alumni coming from years ago, back when you played, and even beyond that.
It's the nation. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than the 2003 Booker football team. You know, the school was closed down. Something was taken away from the community. All along, we have done well, but we've never been at this pinnacle. The old school is looking to embrace the new school, and they're looking for a seed to hang upon. That'll be our tree. That'll be our growth. And right now, it's this year, if we can do it. We have so many people that's coming back, the elderly are coming back, and they don't know any of the kids, but it's Booker. It's the nation. And so they're coming out and they finding their spots, they're eating their rib sandwich, and they're having a good time. And everybody, the old, the new, it's an event again. You know, we're closing down the city, the inner city of Booker a little bit, at Newtown and the surrounding areas, and they're coming to a Booker football game. And now the rest of the places in Amaryllis Park and over there on the 47th Street Tower, all those people, my neighbors, they're talking about Booker football, and it's a grand thing.
What this school has been through, its ups and downs, and the school's always known for having talent, without a doubt. To see where you are right now, two games away from having it all, what would that say for Booker if this team should win the state championship?
Well, we won state championships before in other sports. I don't really hinge everything on that. That's the goal as a football coach, but as a man, I'm just so proud of these young men that have come here and laid it on the line and doing good things. If they fall short of their quest, you know, I won't be happy, but I'll be so impressed by the way they went about their business. And that's the number one thing. I think a lot of young people have grown this season. You know, this is something they'll talk about for the rest of their lives. Win it or don't win it, no matter how far they go, how they got a community to rally around them. And it's not just in Newtown, it's not just in 47th Street Park. You're talking about people are coming from out of state, that are the Northerners coming to watch good football, good kids, and that's the number one thing.
Terrence Jones snipped of the 3A Player of the Year award. Arguably, you know, he should have won it, you know, in many people's eyes, including yourself. Just what are your thoughts on him being snubbed of that award, and do you feel on Friday night he'll come out with a little bit more oomph in his step for Pace?
Well, every time, everybody needs something to hang their hat on, and for these kids, they love Terrence Jones. And it's just not a Terrence Jones if he had the Mr. Florida award, it would be a Booker thing. And all those kids that helped along in his quest with all those numbers that he has, it's like we were slighted. Because we're winning football games, we're playing top-notch competition, not saying that the players above him was not. We just felt at this time and moment it was the right thing. We think the sports writers made a mistake. But this is Booker High School. Before Terrence Jones, it was a Chauncey Jones. Before Chauncey Jones, it was Cedric Henry. Before Cedric Henry, it was a Johnny Baker. We had a Marcus Curse. We've always going to have somebody that dot the I. So if some little kid, hopefully watching this program, are going to dot the I one day for the Tornadoes.
You know what? I don't think there's enough that can be said about the job that Fred Gilmore has done in turning around this program, especially from last year. I mean, the team has had at least 3 coaches over the past 4 years, and, you know, there's been a lot of change within this school, you know, in terms of the football program. But you got to, you know, tip your hat to Fred, and Fred doesn't like to take all the credit. He likes to give credit to his assistant coaches.
Exactly, and you look at the assistants, and they're guys that you don't want to mess with. Sherman Rackley, Brian Riles, Larry Richardson. And the thing about it is they give these kids a different dose of philosophy. It comes from each and every one of them, and it reaches all the kids, and I think that's what you're seeing this year. I mean, they were 4-5 last year, and they're 13-0 right now. And that starts with the players, the assistants, and Fred gets a lot of the credit. It's like he told me, winning 3A Coach of the Year, it starts with great players and great assistants. But there was one snub that Fred says, and that's Terrence Jones. Terrence Jones, not the 3A Player of the Year, despite rushing for 2,512 yards this year. Goes to Xavier Lee from Daytona Beach Seabreeze. His team's not playing right now. They were eliminated 2 weeks ago. The other kid from Belgrade Central, he's not playing this week. So I think everybody's talking Florida recount part 2 3 years later.
You got it about that, man. We want to also show you a quick timeline of how Booker got to where they are today. But first, we got to take a look at the weather. David Carnes, what's going on with it?
Well, I am sure Booker is going to have absolutely no problem mopping up the floor with Monsignor Pace. Can you say that about a school called Monsignor Pace? I don't know. But at any rate, they came here from Miami. They're going to be getting a fight. Weather-wise, shouldn't be a problem at all for either team. 66 degrees at kickoff coming up here shortly, 7:30. Winds out of the northwest, not much of a problem either at 12 miles per hour.
Here's what people...
The 5 over the 10, 15. Andrews out to the 25-yard line. Nice return by the Spartans, Quentin Andrews.
And welcome to Tornado Alley here on the campus of Booker High School. My name is Josh Tyler along with Jeff Rhodes on SNN Channel 6, the state semifinal game between the Booker Tornadoes and the Monsignor Pace Spartans.
Big football game, obviously, for both teams. The winner goes to the state championship in Gainesville next week. The Spartans are going to be quarterbacked by Jeremy Roberts, an effective quarterback. Their big running back is Conridge Collins, and he'll get the first handoff straight ahead. You know what's interesting, Josh, looking over the Spartans' offense throughout the year, they've lost 3 games in the course of the year. Of course, they've won their 3 games in the playoffs. When they meet a strong defense can really shut down this Spartans running game. 3 or 4 times in the season, the Spartans have had less than 70 yards rushing on the night. So they can be shut down offensively. The Tornadoes, you'll notice, really stack up the line, and the linebackers inside handoff to Collins again. again. And the 6'1", 210-pound fullback gets the first down out to the Spartan 40-yard line. Not a good sign, Josh, that the Spartans are running inside against this Booker defense.
Well, it's not a good sign at all. We've seen throughout the year with the Booker defense that those front four linemen and the three linebackers for the Booker defense have really been on top of their game, really stopped the inside run, really challenge you to beat them with the pass, and it's something that not a lot of teams have been able to do.
Well, they're giving it to their workhorse, Conridge Collins, and that time he's stuffed at the line. Booker's running a 4-4 defense, and they're relying on some big guys on that defensive line, including baby James Harris, 6 foot, 217-pounder. You got Dumaka Atkins, who's a real player, 6'4", 285-pound Division I college prospective player on that defensive line for the Tornadoes. 2nd down and 8. And this is Bethel coming to the near side, and he is hammered hard by
Dietrich Belvin on the tackle, the defensive back coming over out of his cornerback position, coming down, making a hard hit right there.
Well, this is one thing you're not going to be able to do very easily is run wide on the Booker Tornadoes, as they are loaded with speed. They're also noted to have about 7 or 8 college Division I players on this offense and defensive team. This is one of the fastest high school football teams, both offensively and defensively, that you're going to see. 3rd down and 5 for the Spartans at their own 45-yard line. Flag is down, handoff straight ahead to Collins. He's close to a first down at midfield. It looks from our angle like he's about a half a yard short, but let's see what the flag is all about. Now the book on the Spartans, yeah, it's the illegal procedures, that'll back them up, but the book on the Monsignor Pace Spartans is that they're a very well-disciplined team. They're also a very young football team, Josh. They've only got 13 seniors, and a lot of their key football players are underclassmen, including Conridge Collins. He's only a junior. They've got a lot of guys coming back, a lot of sophomores starting on this offense.
Well, they're starting running backs. You have a junior and a sophomore as their starting running backs. Bethel, their second running back, number 5, he's only a sophomore this year.
So you got Dixon as the wingback. He'll get the handoff, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And that'll bring up 4th down and 10. And now look out, the Tornadoes. Baby James Harris on the tackle. And the Tornadoes will now get a chance to show you what they can do offensively. And we have had the pleasure of seeing the Tornadoes a couple of times this year. And you know, you can hold them for a half, as Venice did. Venice dominated Booker the first half, but unbelievable 3rd quarter, 41 points the Tornado offense scored in that game against Venice. Of course, Venice went deep into the playoffs themselves. Here's the punt. It's going to bounce and then fielded it at the 24 to the 35, cutting to the outside, could go, got one man to beat, and stepping out of bounds is number 15 for the Booker Tornadoes, and that is Oliver McNeil, strong safety, 6'3", 207-pounder. He gets Booker great field position. I'll tell you something, you know, this Booker team, Josh, as we've seen, their name really fits them well, Tornadoes, as they are a whirling dervish. And I'll tell you something, their offense is exciting. Anthony Salgado is their quarterback. Terrence Jones has gotten all the publicity, but Salgado's an outstanding quarterback.
Well, Salgado's an outstanding quarterback. You have Terrence Jones in the backfield, rushed for over 2,500 yards this year, 310 last week's game in the regional final.
Salgado to throw, quick look in. His intended receiver, a little bit underthrown, was that was Sam Shields, his intended receiver. It's interesting that the Tornadoes would start with a pass. Greg Meeks is their fullback. He's well over 200 pounds. Of course, Terrence Jones is the I-back, number 8 in the I formation. But you know what? I would expect the Spartans to be keying on Jones. They're coming to the line with a 4-man defensive front, 3-man defensive front, 2 upright ends, and 2 middle linebackers. On 2nd and 10, there's Jones with a handoff straight ahead, and he may have put the ball down, but I think they're going to rule him down as he fumbled. Well, this will be an interesting replay to see if the ball came out before Jones hit the ground. We did notice in that Venice game that Jones took a couple of hard hits, and he did put the ball on the turf.
Well, Jones is one of those running backs. He's going to take a lot of hard hits because he runs hard right through the middle of the field, and you got to run right through through the defensive lineman, right through the linebackers.
You know what?
Then the safeties have a chance to come across and get you. Terrence Jones is going to run the ball up the gut on him. They're going to try and key off, but this is such an explosive offense.
Look at this. He's limping. Terrence Jones is favoring his left leg. He took a shot. 3rd down and 7 for the Tornadoes at the Spartan 45. Jones will go in motion to the far side. That's doubling up out there with Shields. Salgado looking to throw the screen pass to Weeks. Weeks has got it turning upfield. He's going to be tackled short of the 1st down. It'll be an interesting 4th down call because the ball is spotted at the Spartan 39-yard line. Will Fred Gilmore gamble this early in the game, being 4th and 1?
4th and 1, you're on your own side of the field. If you punt it, all you do is have a chance to pin them down or put the ball in the 20 with a touchback. You go for it here. You still give them great field position on the 40-yard line. You don't want to give teams at this level in the state semifinal extra opportunities you don't have to give.
Well, they're going to go for it. Marcus Wetterbond on the tackle for the Spartans. 4th down and a yard. Weeks is the fullback. Triple set to the near side. Wow, Salgado to throw on 4th and 1. Fires the outside. Caught. Breaking a tackle is Pelayo. He's to the 15 and run out of bounds inside the 10. And that is actually number 8, Terrence Jones. Terrence Jones coming out of the backfield, and that gives you an idea of how explosive this Tornado offense really is. Jones on the kind of a wingback wide receiver screen. You know, 4th and 1 with Weeks, the 210-pound fullback. You would think that the handoff would go to Weeks straight ahead, but no, they gamble, and they gamble not only going on 4th and 1, Josh, but they gamble by throwing the ball.
Well, they gamble by throwing the ball, of course, but you're also on the defense's 40-yard line. You got to take that opportunity right there. 4th and 1, they're looking for the run. Surprise them with the pass. You get a 31-yard game like you did right there in the 1st down.
Timeout, no score. You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
The computer.
Welcome back to Tornado Alley, home of the Booker Tornadoes. 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. The Tornadoes threatening to strike quick and early here. I formation. Jones at tailback, Weeks the fullback. In motion is Zellner, the Division I candidate tight end, and it is Jones going off the right side inside the 5-yard line down to about the 3-yard line. You know, as Jones was limping, favoring that left leg after that first offensive play where he took the ball inside on the handoff, and he came up limping, but he looks okay. Or is that him coming out? No, that's Jones coming up. Oh my goodness. If Jones is, if that's going to be a problem, it looks like his left ankle. I'll tell you something, if that's going to be a problem, wow, this Booker offense is going to take a huge blow. Jones has rushed for about 2,800 yards this season already.
We got an illegal substitution penalty on the Booker Tornadoes right there, but we have Daniel Phelps coming in for the injured Terrence Jones. He took a hard hit the first play of the game. It looked like somebody had jumped on top of him as he was trying to get up, actually. Way late. The referees didn't see that one. Might have got his ankle turned a little bit. The turf just a little bit higher at Tornado Alley than it normally is with all the cold weather we've had. They've got to let it grow up just a little bit more so the field doesn't die out. So may have gotten the ankle turned a little bit. Nothing a little tape won't fix, so you can't keep Terrence Jones out of this game tonight.
Well, Shields will go wide to the far side. Pelayo coming to the near side. So it is Phelps is in the I position behind Weeks. Salgado to throw to the outside corner route. It's up. It's caught. It's good. The Booker Tornadoes. Sam Shields. But I'll tell you something, that shows you how good a passer Anthony Salgado is. We saw him a couple times this year, and I have been very impressed with Anthony Salgado's ability to throw the ball. So just when you think Terrence Jones being out and the Booker Tornado offense suffering badly, Shields catches a nicely thrown ball in the far corner of the end zone. Tornadoes on top. Martin to attempt the extra point.
Little fade route, let the wide receiver jump up, get the position on the cornerback. Nice throw, nice play, with a 7-0 lead.
Wow, 7-0. The Booker Tornadoes on their first offensive series capitalize on a kind of a short kick and a nice return. That drive started That drive started at the Spartans' 39-yard line. Boy, you just can't keep doing that to Booker. We saw how Booker scored 41 points in one quarter against the Venice Indians, and it was primarily because they had such great field position.
Well, it's great field position. This is such an explosive offense. You may think that you have him down. You'll have him in a 3rd and 18 situation, and you'll have a guy like Terrence Jones or Salgado or Shields make a play like they did right there and really just explode this offense. Last week in the regional final game, they scored 14 points in 1 minute after the game was closed for most of the entire game. Third quarter, they come out and score 14 points in 1 minute.
It's unbelievable. It is really unbelievable how explosive this offense can be. But it'll be key. It'll be interesting to see how the Spartan offense can the key, I really think, for the Spartans is to keep the Booker offense off the field. So that means you got to run the ball well against the Tornado defense. You got to chew up the clock. And we did see Venice do that very effectively. Of course, Sarasota did that effectively. Southeast did that effectively. But they all lost. Booker's undefeated.
Well, if Pace wants to stay in this game, they're going to have to take a hold of the ball and take 6 or 7 minutes off the clock. They're going to have to run. They're really going to have to convert on first downs. One first down in a drive is not going to get it cut.
And a kickoff by Martin. Flags go down, stopping play as Millbrook catches the kick. Now, Millbrook is an interesting story. He's been an offensive and defensive star for the Spartans. In fact, if it wasn't for the play of Jerry Millbrook in the last 2 games, Spartans wouldn't be here. He has made a fumble recovery in the last seconds to preserve a win, and he intercepted a pass last week in the end zone to preserve a win.
Well, 2 wins in a row have been saved by Jerry Millbrook, and that's really what's kept the Pace season alive, their postseason hopes alive, with a lot of juniors, a lot of sophomores on the team. As you said, only 13 seniors. Not a lot of people picked this team to go this far, and yet they have. They played some good opponents, played some good tight football games, and that's going to be one of their factors coming in. Booker's had a light road. They really haven't played overpowering football teams, whereas Pace has played 2 top 11 teams in the state in 3A coming out here tonight.
Well, Millbrook and Bethel will be deep to receive Martin's kick. 7-0 is our score in favor of the Tornadoes. 6:04 to play in the first quarter. Martin gets a nice kick. It'll be Bethel at his 10-yard line on the near sideline, over the 15 to the 20, 25, and out to the 30, just beyond the 30 to the 33-yard line. Nice return by Carlos Bethel, a sophomore running back, tackled by Darian Platt of the Tornadoes.
Well, if there's been one Achilles heel for the Booker Tornadoes all season long, it has been the penalties right there. The kickoff got backed up 5 yards because somebody jumped off sides before the kick was away. Booker's really got to cut down on the mistakes, cut down on the penalties that they have throughout most of the year. They got into trouble against Osceola. They got into trouble against Southeast. That cannot happen for them here tonight.
Well, the Tornadoes are stacking that defensive line. They had 6 men across the line of scrimmage, and that handoff to Collins, the big fullback. Now that'll be interesting if the Tornado defense can stop the inside running game of Conridge Collins. There's no way that the Spartans are going to turn the corners wide against this very fast Tornado defense. So the key for the Spartans is the inside running of Collins.
Well, today's Herald Tribune in the sports section had a great article about the Booker defensive line, how they challenge teams to get around them, and nobody's been able to meet that challenge.
Well, there's a deep pass to the far side. Ooh. Nicely covered out there. That pass was intended for Quentin Andrews. Nice coverage. You know, that's the other thing. You know, I'm watching Jeremy Roberts, a quarterback for the Spartans, throw the ball. He's got a nice arm. He throws the ball with a nice tight spiral. He's an accurate passer. But I'll tell you something. You know, in high school, you don't see that cannon of an arm. And the tendency for high school passers is to put a little too much air under the ball, takes the ball a little too long to get to the receiver, especially the deep out patterns, and that plays right into the hands of the Booker defensive backs. They're so quick. And that is number 11, Millbrook, to the outside, and there you go. You're just not going to be able to do those reverses against this Tornado defense. We saw that so many times this year, and it's Danny Phelps making the initial tackle for the Booker Tornadoes, and that'll bring up a 4th and long situation for the Spartans.
Danny Phelps has made 2 great plays here on this defensive stand for the Booker Tornadoes. He was in on the coverage on the last pass, real tight coverage, forced him to throw the ball higher than the quarterback would like to, and that's what caused that incomplete pass, and right there and on the stop, forcing Pace to punt it away.
Well, Sam Shields and Oliver McNeil are deep for the Tornadoes. Short kick going to the far side. It'll be McNeil at his 28, drops the ball. And he's looking for, oh, look at this. He's reversing his field. Can he pick up blocks? He's over the 35. Flags go down. Ball's loose. Recovered by the Spartans, but we got a flag down back here at the 33-yard line. But I gotta believe that penalty is going to be an illegal block against the Tornadoes, and that will give the Spartans a football. And this is the kind of break that the Spartans needed, Josh.
This is the break the Spartans needed right here. You need every opportunity you can get to take the ball out of the Booker offense's hands. If they're going to give it to you, not only on a penalty that would have backed them up anyway, but they cough up the ball on their own 48-yard line, and you're able to get the ball back and really restart your drive that just got stalled on a 3-and-out. Pace has really got to turn this into 7 points right now. They've got to take advantage of every opportunity that Booker gives them tonight.
Well, you know, one thing that happens, sometimes if a team scores early and scores easily like the Tornadoes do, they have a tendency to go into a lull, and sometimes that lull can last 2 or 3 quarters, and sometimes it's hard to get that momentum back. So let's see if the Spartans can capitalize. Timeout on the field. 7-0 is our score, 4.5 minutes playing the first quarter.
Rights to the broadcast of this game in the 2003 FHSAA Class 3A football championships have been granted to SNN Channel 6 by the Florida High School Athletic Association and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Florida High School Athletic Association is prohibited.
Timeout, and with that, you're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association's football championships on SNN Channel 6.
Here's what people are saying.
Live coverage of Booker High School football is being brought to you by China Palace Express, LTM, and the Computer Room.
Welcome back to Tornado Alley. 4:26 to play in the first quarter. The Tornadoes on a 7-0 lead after a nice Salgado to Shields pass in the corner of the end zone of about 10 yards. But on the fumble, McNeil fumbled his punt, and the Spartans are in business at the Booker 48-yard line. 1st and 10, Miami Monsignor Pace Spartans. And it'll be...
That's number 5.
That is Carlos Bethel. He's only a sophomore running back. Bethel and Collins are the main running backs for the Spartans. On that tackle is Darian Platt, linebacker. 5'9", 182-pound sophomore. 5'9", 182-pound linebacker. You would think, well, that's pretty small, but he's also got a big defensive line in front of him. But that just shows you how fast this Booker defense is. You would think that you can run inside, but they've got those big defensive linemen. Official stopping the play here as we're looking at 2nd down and 6 at the Booker 43.
Got a penalty marker down on the flag on the field. Let's see what the penalty is here.
Wow, offsides, Tornadoes. You know, they have had some games where they've been penalized quite a bit this year. And from the book on the Spartans is they're a very well-disciplined team. They don't make many mistakes, don't turn the ball over, don't make very many penalties. So the Spartans now have it 2nd down and 1 yard inside the Tornado 40 at about their 38-yard line. Movement on the offensive line, and that is the left end. And, you know, take 5, give 5.
Take 5, give 5. Booker will take that back. That would have given Monsignor Pace a great break right there. They would have had 2nd and inches. We're right there, movement on the far left side guard, and that's going to back them up. Basically a no gain after the 2 penalties, but you were saying about the 2 teams. Booker really having trouble with the penalty bug all year long compared to Pace being real disciplined up there. 3 penalties for 15 yards by Booker, 2 penalties
Collins
for 10
straight
yards.
ahead. Look at this big guy ramble inside the 35 down to the 32-yard line. Man, I'll tell you what, this guy Collins, he's an impressive dude. 6'1", 210-pound Detrick Belvin, 5'10", 184-pounder, had to make the tackle on that 210-pound freight train.
That 210-pound freight train is listed as a running back or as an H-back, but right there he's used more as a fullback in that formation. Runs right up the gut, just hit me hard, and that's what he does right there. goes right up the middle and asks for the hit and takes it and gets a big gain.
Inside handoff. Again, Collins. I'll tell you something. If Collins can do this kind of running inside, he's going to wear down anybody's defense. When the Spartans are clicking, when their Spartan running game is clicking, they can put up over 250, 300 yards rushing. Darian Platt also in on that tackle. And Darian Platt, man, he's only 5'9", 182 pounds. So the linebackers for the Tornadoes are rather small, and they're having to tackle this 210-pound fullback. Second and less than a yard for the Spartans inside the Tornado 25-yard line. Bethel taking the handoff. He's inside the 15. He's down to the 10-yard line. First down, Spartans. Move those chains.
And move those chains they will. They're getting all their first downs on the ground. We heard from their coaches earlier in the game that this is basically a run offense. They don't do a lot of passing, only 139 attempts in 13 games all season long. They're going to put the ball right up the gut and challenge you to stop the run, and that's what those three teams that beat them did. They stopped the run. That's what shuts down the offense. Right now, Booker having trouble in the first half.
Well, they're double teaming the nose guard, and Collins gets a handoff. And that's why they're running so well. They got the guards in the center all kind of crimping in there, slanting in towards the center, and they're just pushing that nose guard for the Tornadoes out. Greg Weeks is in at linebacker, 6'1", 223-pounder. Now that's the kind of linebacker that you need to stuff up this defensive.
Demaka Atkins coming into the game for the Booker Tornadoes. Atkins, the offensive and defensive lineman, 6'4", 283, so they're putting the big guys up front.
1:38 to play in the first quarter. Tornadoes leading 7-0, but that lead is in jeopardy. Second down and 8 from the Tornado 8-yard line. The Spartans. Roberts to throw, inside slant.
Touchdown by number 4 for the...
That's Andrews, Quentin Andrews on the inside slant. I was watching the Spartans run that play during the pregame. They run that very efficiently. It's an either they can go an 8-yard in, a 10-yard in, 12-yard in. A lot of their passes are those quick slants in.
Well, right there, the 8-yard in right there gets inside the defender, and that's an easy pass for any quarterback to make.
Flags go down as the freshman Tommy Cruz kick is up. It's going to be an offsides against the Tornadoes, so they're going to re-kick. Wow. That was an impressive drive by the Spartans. I got to tell you, the running inside is a concern for Booker.
And the biggest factor for the Spartans on that drive right there, started on a Booker turnover, got 7 points off a Booker turnover, which is something they're going to need to do. If Booker gives you extra opportunities in a game, you've got to do everything you can to take them. Southeast got a lot of them, couldn't convert on a lot as the Booker defense really stepped up. Same thing with Osceola. A lot of penalties stayed in the game longer than they should have.
Martin's kick is blocked. Cruz's kick is blocked, that is. Wow, you would think. Wow, you think extra points are pretty much an automatic, but nothing's automatic in this game, and that could prove to be an extremely important point as the Tornadoes hold a 7-6 lead with 1:21 to play in the first quarter.
What we saw earlier in the 5A playoffs, that Clearwater advanced into the regional semifinals on a missed extra point. They defeated Seminole 21-20, a team that had already beat them in the year. A missed extra point was the difference in that football game. Now you get 6 points off the turnover instead of 7, and really that could be, as you said, the difference in this football game. 1 point's all you need to go to Gainesville.
1:21 to play in the first quarter. You know, looking at the scores that the Spartans have been involved in, especially in the playoffs, they've been low-scoring affairs. No team has scored more than 20 points. Neither the Spartans nor their opponents in this postseason so far have scored over 20 points. Interesting statistic.
Well, Pace's first 3 games in the playoffs, regional quarterfinals, they defeated Fort Pierce Westwood 41-6. Really the only walk game that they had.
All right, that was the only walk-off game.
Then the last 2 games, they defeated 5th-ranked Lakeland Kathleen 14-9. That was in Lakeland. And then they hosted Cocoa, the 9th-ranked team in 3A last week for the regional final and beat them by 5, 28-23. 2 close games. Both were won on interceptions by Jerry Millbrook, which has really kept this Pace season alive. 2 big plays on defense in the fourth quarter, and you see how much just a couple of points makes a difference as you get further and further into the state playoffs.
What's interesting is the Spartans rushed for 299 yards in that Cocoa game, and they only rushed for 68 yards total against Lakeland. Well, Terrence Jones is back deep for the Tornadoes. That's interesting. Jones looks like he's favoring his left ankle just a little bit. He's joined back there by Danny Phelps. Both of them are speedsters, and I'll tell you something, you won't find many guys faster than Terrence Jones. Kickoff is high and short, and it's going to be Phelps at his 24. He's over the 25, 30, cuts to the outside, 35. Got some running room, 40, 45, and going out of bounds inside Spartan territory. And that again just shows you the explosiveness of this Tornado team, whether it's returning kicks, punts, or offense. Danny Phelps, nice return. Well, he does step out of bounds. Wow, back at his 46-yard line. So that's about a 20-yard return.
About a 26-yard return there by Phelps. But one of the worst things that you can do to this Booker offense, or these Booker runners, is you give them a moving target to run at, so they're at full speed when they catch the football. They're fast enough. You don't need to give them extra time to get their jets going before they start moving forward.
Palaio goes to the far side, Shields to the near side, I formation, Salgado to throw. He's got a man wide open deep, but he can't get it to him. Passes out, throw. Oh my goodness, what a miraculous catch by Palaio, Julio Palaio, and it looked like the outside linebacker was going to intercept that ball, and had he intercepted it, he could have gone the distance. That was Derwin Lamb who had that pass go over his hands, and Julio Palaio makes a miraculous catch.
Well, luck has been on the side of the Tornadoes all season long, and right there is a perfect example of it. He shot up a prayer. That made me think of a Miami game that Brock Berlin was quarterbacking right there. Instead of taking the hit or taking the sack, he lobs the ball up and very well could have led to a turnover and a loss of the lead.
2nd down and 2. It's Jones over the right side. He's got the first down inside the 35 and down to the 31-yard line goes Terrence Jones, and Jones is an extremely good cutback runner. Levon Ponder, the free safety, 6'1", 185-pounder, makes the tackle on Jones, but Jones is most dangerous, Josh, when he cuts back like he did right there. When he cuts back against the grain, he can break them 75, 80 yards.
Well, right there you see the dangerousness on the Booker Tornadoes. That is Terrence Jones right there. A lot of teams have not figured out the puzzle on him. They look everywhere. They look hips. They look legs. They try and figure out where he's going, and he's able to change the directions and move forward so quickly that nobody really can understand what's going on with him.
That's the end of the first quarter, 7-6. The Booker Tornadoes leading the Monsignor Pace Spartans. You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletics Association Football Championships on SNN Channel 6. That's another route that the Tornadoes run very well, as we saw during the course of the year. They run that little 8 to 10 yard curl to the inside with one of their wide receivers. It's a similar route that the Spartans run, but it's a little bit more of a curl. The Spartans run kind of a square in type of slant in pattern, but Shields dropped that pass wide open.
First drop of the night for the Booker Tornadoes, but Anthony Salgado 4 for 6 here early. That matches his 3 for 4 start last week.
Hey, how about this shotgun formation? But they will run out of this. Salgado looking to throw the ball. He's got time over the middle, intended for Zellner, the big tight end, 6'3", 230-pound Division I tight end. But that'll also give you an idea how strong Salgado's arm is. He can fire that ball. Well, not a big guy, but he can fire it.
And it makes you give credit right there to the Booker offensive line. You hear about Terrence Jones all the time rushing for 250, 300 yards. Right there, the Booker offensive line showed not only can they run block, but they can pass block. There was nobody within 3 yards of Salgado anywhere close to taking him. He was able to step up into the pocket and really put something behind that pass. And if it was a wide receiver instead of a tight end on that pass, it's probably 14-6.
3rd down and 10 for the Tornadoes at the Spartan 32-yard line. Tornadoes up by 1 point. Got some defensive line movement. Well, of course, the defensive lineman is going to blame the offensive lineman. We see that all the time, but let's see who really was at fault. The officials are going to call it against the Tornadoes. Illegal procedure.
5th penalty of the night. on the Booker Tornadoes for 25 yards. Most of them have been procedure or substitution penalties, really mental mistakes. And when you're this deep into the playoffs, you can't afford to have 5 penalties for 25 yards before the second quarter has even ticked off a minute before you really snap out of it. Nerves are all right, but this is the 4th playoff game for a lot of these guys, and you're at home.
3rd down and 15 now from the Spartan 37-yard line. Shields is the wide out. Inside handoff to Terrence Jones. He's to the 30, to the 29. And he picked up a nice gain. Quentin Andrews on the tackle, but Jones picks up about 10 yards on the play. You know, that's the thing about Booker, man. They can be 3rd and 30 and hit the home run. They're just such an explosive team by either the pass to Shields or Pelayo, or the screen pass or the run to Terrence Jones or Danny Phelps.
They have so many weapons, just talent-wise, on offense, and then their play calling is superb to where they can do a lot of things. They could be backed up 4th and a mile and probably convert on it.
4th down in 7 from the 29-yard line. Double wides to the far side. Salgado dropping back. He might set up the screen pass. Wow. Nice heads-up play by number 11, Jerry Millbrook. And I'll tell you something, Jerry Millbrook, he smelled that wide receiver screen, and I'll tell you something, he was looking interception, touchdown. He had that in his head.
Well, you remember the last time Booker went on a 4th down was earlier in the first quarter, and they ran that fullback screen right there. Millbrook, great defensive back. He's really kept his team alive this year. Steps up, sniffs it out, and really breaks it up, almost gets himself a pick and about a 70-yard return right there, but instead it's a turnover on downs by the Booker Tornadoes.
Inside handoff once again to Collins. Man, I'll tell you something, big running, big fullback. No, that was Carlos Bethel. 2nd down and 2 on the 8-yard carry.
McNeil in on the stop for the Booker Tornadoes.
1-point game, 7-6 as we just enter the second quarter here at Booker High School in Sarasota, Florida. Tornado Alley is what it's referred to. 1st down. 1st down, Spartans. Chris Zellner on the tackle. You know what? It's clear to me that the offensive strategy for the Spartans is to run inside, and they will play action out of that and throw the pass. 1st and 10. They run a quick snap. Collins gets the handoff, but I'll tell you something else. Right now, the Spartans don't look like a team that can cover big chunks of yardage. So 1st down for the Spartans is much more important than it would be for the Booker Tornado offense. If the Spartans don't get good yardage on 1st down, their backs are really in against the wall.
Well, they're a short yardage running team, and usually when you pick up 2 or 3 yards per gain, that's usually all right. But when you got a suffocating defense like Booker, 2 or 3 yards isn't going to cut it. You got to average right around 4.
Second man through is Bethel, and he is stuffed. So see, now this is where the Spartans are going to have trouble. When they get down in this 3rd and long, they haven't been real successful. Lewis mentioned on the tackle, but the point is the Spartans haven't shown the ability. They certainly can't run outside against the Booker defense. Collins had made some good runs inside. Roberts to throw the ball. He's looking deep to the outside. He's got a man, and it's incomplete. And for a moment there, it looked like the wideout, Quentin Andrews, had the defensive back confused.
And we got a roughing the passer penalty on Booker, so it turns a 4th down punting situation into another 1st down on a penalty, and that is going to be a costly one for the Booker Tornadoes after Oliver McNeil is in the backfield, really just fooled on it, turns on the jets, gets in front of that, knocks down that pass. A great play goes to waste on a roughing the passer call.
Wow, the story of the game right now is the Booker offense and the Booker penalties. That is keeping the Spartan offense in the game. The penalties against Booker right now is a big story in this football game.
Well, 40 yards of penalties for the Booker Tornadoes, 6 penalties, and we still have 9-12 left to play here in the first half. So a lot of penalties going on. If they do survive this game, there's going to be a lot of people flipping that big old toe-in tire at practice on Monday.
Andrews and Millbrook to the top, split backs, and it's going to be Carlos Bethel, and he is inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. Tackled in there by Darian Platt, the diminutive middle linebacker, 5'9", 180-pounder.
Well, this is the proverbial second extra chance that Booker has given the Pace Spartans here in the first half. Of course, the first was the fumble on the punt return. Now this one, they start the drive on a turnover on downs, then get a penalty to keep the drive alive.
Well, Jamaka Atkins, a big nose guard, comes in, and he is the one diving through the center of that line, but he did miss the running back. But that'll give you an idea of how powerful Jamaka Atkins at 6'4", 285 pounds is. Baby James Harris on the tackle, but Jamaka Atkins, man, when you want to stop that inside running game, that's the guy to go to. 3rd down and 4 for the Spartans at the Tornado 34-yard line. And that is Millbrook in motion. Toss sweep to, wow, see that's, wow, nice run, nice cutback by Bethel, because it looked like he was going to be stopped in the backfield. There's just no chance of getting outside on this Booker defense.
There's not a lot of chance to get outside of the Booker defense. Right there, the pitch was sniffed out, and the defensive end just pulled. The linebackers came over with the motion man. They tried to run it towards the motion side, but still, nice pickup by Bethel right there. He was stopped, never quit, got his feet underneath him, started cutting back, really shook off about 2 or 3 defenders, and as you see, they're bringing out the chains right now and possibly get another first down.
Steve Fugarus on the tackle for the Tornadoes. Score 7-6 in favor of the Tornadoes, but the Spartans are starting to move the ball effectively. Of course, they've also been helped by the Booker penalties, none bigger than that roughing the punter.
And they get the first down.
You know, this is so reminiscent of that Venice game, man. It was a slugfest in that first half. Venice took the lead in the first half, and it looked like they were just going to destroy Booker.
Well, it's reminiscent of the Southeast game, too. Remember, Southeast had a 7-point lead late in the 4th quarter, and an interception took the game into overtime, as an interception was returned by Booker to take the game into overtime, which Booker eventually won 14-7.
Bethel trying to get outside is corralled by Darian Platt. Loss of a yard. Darian Platt's all over the field.
The first tackle for a loss by the Booker Tornadoes tonight.
Chris Zellner comes in to play defensive tackle. And it's interesting how they use Jamaka Atkins. He doesn't play a whole lot on defense. 4-man defensive front. Roberts to throw, he slips, he goes down. Back in the fall, come on.
The flag's gonna come down.
Wow, I don't agree with that one.
Remember in high school football, once you touch the ground, it's just like college. Once you touch the ground, you are down, and you're gonna protect the quarterback in this league. As much as you're gonna do that call, you've got to protect the quarterback.
But it's not like he went head first. You know, he was very close to the play, and it looked to me like his natural progression, he would either have to jump over him, which I guess he could do, or do what he did. But I think that's a bad call. Sorry. I think that's one of those calls that doesn't need to be made because there was no intent. There was no. It was not a hard hit. There was no intent. It was a bang play.
It wasn't a hard hit, but he still had time to put both feet down on the ground.
Well, I don't know if he did.
Anytime a referee sees, even if they perceive to see that you took a step or 2 full steps and then hit a quarterback,
timeout on the field. You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletics Association Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
Live coverage of Booker High School football is being brought to you by China Palace Express, LTM, and the Computer Room.
Oh, big penalty against the Booker Tornadoes gives the Spartans a 1st and 10 at the Tornado 25, and I totally disagree with that penalty. This is a very important game. The winner goes to the state championship. You got to let these guys play a little bit. You can't guard them that much in a game like this. Roberts to throw the ball, batted down. Roberts catches the ball. He's trying to turn the corner. He can't make it. That's Zellner. Chris Zellner makes the tackle, and you're not going to outrun Chris Zellner. He's 6'3", 230 pounds.
Well, Well, right there after...
Baby James Harris, check that. Baby James Harris, the defensive end, 6 foot, 217 pounder. They got Zellner, who's 88. Baby James Harris is 99. Either one of those guys, you're not going to outrun them.
Well, you may be wondering why it was a third down and mid situation on that right now. It's showing fourth down, and the Sticks are going fourth down. It was a 15-yard penalty, but I have no idea what's going on there. Usually it's an automatic first down when you rough the pass.
On fourth down, the screen pass is caught. Inside the 15 goes Quentin Andrews down to the 9-yard line. What a bizarre game right now. Donald Hubbard on the tackle. So on that penalty, on that roughing the passer penalty, it did not give the Spartans a first down.
I think since he was sacked, it was constituted as a sack, so it's not roughing the passer. It's a late hit. Late hit penalties, whether I guess they might have given a minor penalty or something, but no really indication on what the referees called on that. But right there, first and goal after the pickup on the pass play by the Pace Spartans.
From the 9, Roberts rolling, flags go down. Roberts has got to eat it. Man, what a bizarre drive right now. It started with a roughing the punter. It started with a roughing the punter penalty against the Tornadoes. That gave the Spartans new life, and then a huge controversial roughing the passer penalty gave the Spartans a ball at the 25, and on fourth down and 5, they give a little screen pass to Quentin Andrews, and he gets it down to the 9. What a bizarre drive this has been.
Well, it started on a turnover on downs. Booker had the ball on their 30-yard line, turned the ball over on downs, then 2 personal fouls have kept this drive alive for the Pace Spartans. Now they find themselves first and goal from their own 19 after the holding penalty, which is only the 3rd penalty of the night on the Pace Spartans.
So Quentin Andrews will come wide to the near side. Collins and Bethel. Roberts to throw to the outside for Dixon, and it goes incomplete. Nice coverage in there by Darian Platt. Again, the linebacker Darian Platt is all over the place. So it'll be... Looks like it'll be second down from the 19. Goal to go from the Tornado 19-yard line. 7-6. Booker leading Monsignor Pace.
Well, it's going to be up to the defense right now, obviously. The Pace offense taking a lot of time off the clock here. Nearly 5 minutes off the clock has been attributed to the Pace Spartans here in the second quarter. Defense has got to step up and make a big play.
Roberts looking. He's under pressure. He's going to go down back at the 25-yard line.
Number 33 for the...
Zellner, Chris Zellner, and Greg Weeks, the middle linebacker. 2 big defensive players. Zellner at about 230, Weeks at about 230. And that'll take the ball back just inside the Tornado 25-yard line, where it'll be third down and goal to go for the Spartans with 5:36 to play in the first half. Tornadoes leading 7-6.
Well, you about gained back that roughing the passer penalty right there, because now that's two consecutive losses for the Pace Spartans. That one of 7 yards.
Timeout on the field. Spartans timeout.
The FHSAA would like to remind you of their creed. Respect your opponents, respect your teammates, respect your coaches, respect the officials, respect the fans, respect yourself, but most importantly, respect the game. Respect is the foundation of sportsmanship, and this message is provided by SNN Channel 6 and the FHSAA.
Wow, what a bizarre drive. I tell you, it's, the emotions are so high, and you hear athletes talk all the time about getting to the big championship game is the hardest part. And I'll tell you something, both of these teams, Booker Tornadoes have it fairly easy during the playoff run, as they have blown all of their opponents out. They have not been in a real dogfight until tonight.
No, and sometimes that's a disadvantage to you. I don't know how many tournaments I've gone to as a player, or I've seen watching as a spectator, where you see teams just bowl over people in the qualifying rounds. You get to a round that actually matters, where everybody's there, and they're there because they're a good team, not because they had a lot of luck. You have to be a good team to get this far, and you're going to be in a dogfight. When you've been in 3 easy games, you forget how to dogfight.
Third down and goal to go from the Tornado 25-yard line. Roberts to throw the ball, looking to the near side, deep. He's well covered. Oh, incomplete. No, oh my goodness gracious. The defensive back for the Tornadoes, that is McNeil. McNeil was up, looked like he was going to come down with it. The ball went through his hands, and it almost went into the arms of Quentin Andrews at the goal line, but it's an incomplete pass, bringing it up fourth down and goal to go from the Tornado 25. And McNeil, had he picked that ball off, Josh, he might have gone 100 yards with that interception.
Well, McNeil came down as a safety, almost got that one, but another good coverage play by Daniel Phelps.
Tommy Cruz is going to attempt a 42-yard field goal. The wind is at his back. It's calmed down a little bit. Flags go down. Uh-oh. Well, let's see what happens here. If it's against the Tornadoes, Cruz will get a better opportunity to kick. Now, Cruz is only a freshman. Tommy Cruz is only a freshman. It's going to be offsides against the Tornadoes. Another big mistake by the Tornadoes. They have just shot themselves in the foot time and time again this first half with the penalties.
Well, Cruz is now going to get an opportunity from 37 yards instead of 42 after that 5-yard penalty. And Booker's just giving him extra opportunities with the penalties, and we've seen a lot of teams get involved in it. And they're
my goodness gracious. You know what? Right now, the story of the game is the penalties, and you really don't want to see that in this kind of a football game. You really want to see the game. You want to see the storyline to be what goes on with amongst the players against themselves. The penalties.
Well, so far, 8 penalties for 60 yards against the Booker Tornadoes compared to 4 penalties for 25 yards against the Pace Spartans, and they're lining up for the 42-yarder again.
Yeah, 42-yard field goal. Tommy Cruz, freshman. Now, he does have the leg, but he also had his extra point blocked. The snap is a little high, the kick is up, and it's going to be long enough. It is good! It is good! Tommy Cruz, the freshman, nails a 42-yard field goal, giving the Pace Spartans a 9-7 lead with 5:12 remaining in the first half. What a kick by the freshman. Now that's a little different than a freshman in college. This kid is a freshman in high school. He's got to be maybe 15 years old, kicking a 42-yarder.
Well, in some of these games, the field goal has been the difference. So Cruz has been carrying this team as well through most of the year. Their last regular season game of the year was against Miami Central, a game that was won 3-0 on a long field goal.
Unbelievable. Freshman. He's got to be, 15 years old, kicking a 42-yard field goal?
14 or 15 years old. And you know what? I know coaches at Miami right now are drooling at the mouth at the University of Miami, and they got 2 freshman kickers, a kicker and the punter at the University of Miami.
I can see an 18 or 19-year-old doing this, but we're talking about a 14 or 15-year-old making a 42-yard field goal. 9-7 with 5:12 to play in the first half. The Tornadoes trail for the first time.
Well, the 2003 FHSAA Class 3A Football Championships is sponsored by the Florida High School Athletic Association, the governing body for interscholastic athletic competition in Florida. The FHSAA adopts rules that ensure students in our state the opportunity to compete against each other on a fair and equitable basis. The Florida High School Athletic Association. New name, new look, same tradition.
Terrence Jones and Danny Phelps back at their 15-yard line waiting Cruz kick. 9-7, the Spartans leading the Tornadoes here at Tornado Alley. What a bizarre drive that was by the Spartans. And it's a deep kick, going to be taken by, looks like, Jones at his 5. Ooh, hit hard at the 20. Wow, was he hit hard in there.
Number 11 for the Pace.
11, that's Millbrook, Jerry Millbrook. Man, I'll tell you what, if Millbrook doesn't have Division I written all over him, he might be playing with the green and orange down there in Coral Gables.
Well, it helps to have that university right down the road from you, but right now Jerry Millbrook's been the story of the game on the defense and the special teams for the Pace Spartans. He's gone out, made some great plays, made some great coverage plays, and right there just lays an absolutely hard hit on Terrence Jones.
I'll tell you what, Jerry Millbrook is one of the best defensive backs I've seen in high school in a long, long time. He's got good size, good athleticism, but he's got a nose for the football. Jones with the ball up the middle. Jones breaks it. Oh, and almost cracks at the distance. Look at that kid run. I'll tell you something. I had a chance to watch Emmett Smith in high school when they played at Southeast. I saw Deion Sanders, quarterback at North Fort Myers. I'll tell you something. Terrence Jones is every bit as quick, every bit as fast, and every bit as exciting as Emmett Smith and Deion Sanders was in high school. Well, I mean, this guy's got 2,800 yards rushing.
Well, you saw on that last play, too, it looked like he was stopped. You had 3 white shirts around him, and somehow or another, he found a way to get through the middle, find a gap, and turn it upfield for an 11-yard first down.
Weeks is a fullback, and he is 230 pounds, and he is responsible for clearing out some of the linebackers and linemen. Leaks is leading that one, and again Jones gets the ball and still goes, but Weeks, watching Weeks lead, he's a force in there. He's like a bulldozer, like a Jamel Cook for the Buccaneers or a Mike Allstott leading the way. He does a great job of lead blocking for Terrence Jones. Derwin Lamb on the tackle.
Well, you got Weeks, you got Dwayne Smith on the offensive line, you got Devin Irwin on the offensive line. So many guys down on the offensive line really do their job and really run block well, open up the holes for Terrence Jones, and he's so fast you don't have to hold him that long. He's through him before you know it.
Well, another toss to Jones. He's trying to turn the corner, and he'll cut back, and that's where he's most dangerous, is when he cuts back and he's close to a first down. It looks like he's gotten the first down. DeMarca Atkins leading the blockers. Marcus Wedderburn on the tackle for the Spartans. But you know, this is something I haven't seen. I've been waiting for the Booker Tornadoes to do this. They're giving the Spartans a steady diet of Terrence Jones. This is the first time tonight that Terrence Jones has carried the ball 3 consecutive times.
Well, you heard a lot of talk today that they were going to key off on Terrence Jones, so Booker was going to go to more of the pass game. That's getting away from Booker football. Give the ball to Jones. Let him open up your pass game.
First and 10 for the Tornadoes at their own 42-yard line. Jones with it again, his 4th consecutive carry, hit hard by Millbrook. Or check that. That was number 12. Levon Ponder drove him out of bounds. But that's 4 in a row for Terrence Jones.
4 in a row. Keep giving them the ball, too. Sooner or later, they're going to start bringing guys up in the box. They're going to leave a wide receiver wide open. That's when you come back with the pass, and that's when you'll see the quick strike scores that Booker is so accustomed to.
3:28 to play in the first half. 9-7. The Spartans are leading the Tornadoes. I formation, Weeks and Jones. Wide receivers, 1 to each side. Shields and Palaio. Jones, 5th carry in a row. He is a workhorse. He's not a big guy. Terrence Jones goes 5'10", 183 pounds. You know, that's that prototype running back, that 5'10", 180, 190-pound running back. Low to the ground, can cut either way. Very quickly has that wide open speed, deceptive wide open speed.
Well, and that's the whole thing, too, is the running backs need to be big for obvious reasons. They're going to take a lot of hits, especially when they go through the middle against linebackers 240, 250 pounds. But they've got to be agile, and that's what you see out of Terrence Jones. He's got agility that allows him to get away from tacklers just by moving his feet and not really having to overpower them.
Shields and Fernandez come wide to the near side. 3rd down and 5 for the Tornadoes. Salgado to throw the ball, looking for his tight end. Oh, it's intercepted. It's intercepted by the Spartans at the Spartan 45-yard line. Julio Sanchez, the linebacker, sophomore linebacker, 5'10", 220-pounder, makes a diving interception of that Salgado pass intended for Chris Zellner, the tight end. So the Spartans are continuing to get good field position, and they lead 9-7 with 2:36 to play in the first half.
Well, all 9 of Pace's points have come off of turnovers tonight. We talked right before the game started that if Pace was going to have a chance in this game, they were going to have to capitalize on mistakes by Booker. So far, 9 points on turnovers, another turnover, and 2:36 is plenty of time to put another score on the clock.
Inside handoff to Collins, and he's stuffed in there. Greg Weeks, number 33 on the tackle, the big 230-pound linebacker.
And right
no
now,
gain on the play. Ball
Booker
is at the 45-yard line of the Spartans, 2:18 and counting in the first half.
The Booker defense is realizing they're going to have to step up right here. The offense is giving Pace a couple more opportunities. They're on the field a lot more than they're used to being on the field because of as high explosive as an offense. And this is one of the rare times that you see Booker trailing in a game.
And that is Dixon. Oh, that's Millbrook coming in motion. Inside handoff to Jones. Again, he is stuffed after a short gain of about a yard. Baby James Harris, along with Zellner. 3rd down and 9 for the Spartans. 1:39 and counting here in the first half. The Spartans leading 9-7. A touchdown with a missed extra point and a 42-yard field goal by Tommy Cruz gave the Spartans their points, and flag goes down. This is going to be illegal procedure against the Spartans.
Only the 5th penalty of the night so far on the Spartans, but still 5 penalties through 2 quarters of play. That's a lot of penalties to have.
Well,
you're averaging you're averaging double-digit penalties already so far through this game. You can't allow Booker to keep backing you up on penalties. If they're going to back you up, make them do it with 3 or 4 hard hits. Don't keep on letting yourself get backed up on penalties. The same thing for Booker. They've got to cut down on those big penalties, 3rd and long situations where they would have a punting situation for Pace, make a big mistake on a penalty, and give them a first down.
3rd and 14 for the Spartans. Roberts to throw deep down the far sideline. It's caught over the head. What a great catch. That looks like Millbrook. No, that's Andrews. Quentin Andrews leaps over the head of the defender and pulls that ball down. What an outstanding play by Quentin Andrews, and a great pass by Jeremy Roberts, and that gives the Spartans a huge first down on 3rd and 15. So far, the game plan for the Spartans is to run inside, and when they need big yardage, they'll try to throw the ball. They haven't been able to run outside. They're inconsistent inside. Quick snap. Collins gets a handoff. He dives to the 21.
Textbook football. Use the run to open up the pass, not the pass to open up the run. That's what Pace is doing effectively here. They've handed the ball off numerous times, only tried 7 passes, and of those 7 passes, 3 have gone to Andrews, and he's got 3 receptions for now nearly 65 yards.
McCray on the tackle for the Tornadoes, 2nd down and 8 for the Spartans at the Booker 21-yard line. Got some movement on that offensive line. Illegal procedure is going to be called the right tight end. The right tight end for the Spartans moved a little bit early. One thing the Spartans are doing, though, is they're going on a very quick count.
Well,
it's not even a full set, and they're going.
They're in the hurry up. They only had 23 seconds to make something out of this right now, and they still do have a couple of timeouts. So they're rushing themselves when they can burn up their timeouts.
Man, I just can't believe that catch by Quentin Andrews over the head of that defensive back. What a great throw, great catch. Timeout on the field, 9-7 Spartans over the Tornadoes. You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association's Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
Booker High School football is being brought to you by China Palace Express, LTM, and the Computer Room.
16 seconds to play in the first half. Big 2nd down for the Tornado defense. Roberts dropping back. He's got a man open over there. Batted down, incomplete. 13 seconds left to play in the first half. The Tornadoes cannot give up a touchdown going in. A field goal is one thing, but a touchdown is another thing. The Spartans are leading 9-7.
A field goal is a win in this situation right now. Block, it's even better, but they're in a situation where they can get at least 3 in this. Booker's going to get the football, though, in the second half. So if you can hold them to 3 right here, that makes it still a 1-possession game. A touchdown right off the bat in the 3rd quarter, which we know Booker can do, will still give them the lead back.
Well, Quentin Andrews comes wide to the near side. He's a dangerous wide receiver. He's double covered. Roberts under heavy pressure. Flag goes down. Pass over the middle. Caught. Breaking the tackle. Is that Millbrook? Oh, my goodness. No, that's Andrews. Quentin Andrews. It was Millbrook on the near side. Wow, how in the world?
And it's coming back. It's coming back. Holding on the Pace Spartans. So that's going to negate that entire reception and catch and run after the catch. And that's going to back them up another 10.
You know, Josh, when you look at the statistics of the Spartans throughout the year, you don't see a great passing team. And yet tonight, man, I'll tell you what, Roberts is throwing some great passes to Dixon, to Millbrook, to Quentin Andrews. Quentin Andrews is an outstanding wide receiver. He's as good as Jerry Millbrook is a defensive back.
And Booker's going to take a timeout here with 4 seconds left on the clock. And for the official word on Florida High School sports, visit FHSAA.org, the official website of the Florida High School Athletic Association. That's www.fhsaa.org.
You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association's Football Championships on SNN Channel 6. 4 seconds to play. 3rd down and 24 for the Spartans. Shotgun formation. Roberts under pressure. DeMarc Atkins It's up in the air. It's intercepted by McNeil. He's to the 30-35. Oh, and slips down with no time on the clock. Oh, Oliver McNeil, go the distance, baby. Don't slip. Don't take a knee. Oliver McNeil, if anything, McNeil does save some points because Tommy Cruz kicked a 42-yard field goal on the previous scoring drive by the Spartans. He could have easily kicked another one, but Oliver McNeil intercepted, snuffed that drive. They go into the locker rooms at halftime with the Spartans leading the Tornadoes 9-7.
Well, it's a big win right there for the Booker Tornadoes. To not allow points on that last drive. That ball was picked off on Booker's own 6-yard line, and really that was a situation where they could have really found themselves in hurt. If they connect on that pass, it's now a 2-score game coming out of the half. We know Booker's a high-powered offense, but when you're down 9 points, 10 points going into the half, you really start having things go through your mind that normally don't go down through them. And we're going to send it down to the field right now to Antoine Smith and Chad Brockoff for the halftime show. After a commercial break, you're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association's Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
Your computer needs.
Christmas is just around the corner, and so is the 2003 Sarasota Boat Parade of Lights. SNN is the only station that will bring it to you live at 7 p.m. December 13th. Boaters, be sure to sign up to enter your boat in this fantastic tradition. Just go to SarasotaParade.com or call the Suncoast Offshore Racing Association at 329-7672. From your local leader in community events coverage, SNN, Channel 6.
Live coverage of Booker High School football is being brought to you by China Palace Express, LTM, and the Computer Room.
Welcome back to the 3A state semifinal game where the Booker Tornadoes find themselves down 9-7 at the half, and this is the actually first time the Bookers have actually trailed at the half since like week 7 or 8 of the regular season against Southeast. We want to dive right into the first half highlights. We were going to start off Booker High School was on 4th and 1, and we ran Terrence Jones. He rushed 31 yards, and it was a nice run by him. But a few plays later, Jones would hobble off the field. He told me his knee had been bothering him, but he would return, and he was fine. From there, Anthony Salgado would hit Sam Shields on a 9-yard TD grab on the fade route, and just like that, Booker went up 7-zip. Then after a Booker's defense stopped, the Tornadoes will have trouble on special teams. Oliver McNeil fumbles and Pace recovers. Pace would run Carlos Beto out of that wing tee, and he was successful. He'd take it down to the 11-yard line. From there, Jeremy Roberts would go to the air to Quentin Andrews on the slant route for the score. The point after would get blocked. It was a 7-6 game. Booker.
Bethel taking the handoff. He's inside the 15.
Second quarter, 7-6 Booker leading. After the Tornadoes turn it over on downs, Pace quickly back to work. Roberts to the air. He hits Andrews on the screen pass, and he's running free. Booker would pull him down 17 yards later. Booker would keep Pace out of the end zone, but not off the scoreboard, as Tommy Cruz, the freshman, boots a 47-yard field goal, making it a 9-7 Pace lead. But again, Booker suffering from the turnovers. Anthony Salgado, he's picked off by Julio Sanchez. Then Pace would try to make the best of it. Roberts goes back to the air. It's Andrews. But Booker would bring him down, and that's pretty much how the half would end. Oliver McNeil would have a late interception that would end the first half, and that's where we are right now, 9-7. Booker is trailing at the half. Chad, I must say, this has been a kind of up and down game. People, a lot of oohs and ahs in the stands. Penalties, penalties, penalties. And I know you got the numbers. I'll let you have it.
All right, we'll talk about the penalties. The two important ones on that last Pace scoring drive, the Cruz 42-yard field goal. 2 personal fouls keep that drive alive. You look at what they've done rushing so far. Collins, 13 carries for 54 yards. Bethel, 8 carries for 34 yards. The only person with negative yardage is Roberts, who has minus 13 on 2. And what I tell you guys about the passing, they ran the ball all the way down there, then he throws a nice little slant pass for the touchdown to Andrews. These guys can throw, and Roberts is getting it done with the arm, as well as Condridge and Bethel with the legs tonight.
And I think that's the way this game will pretty much go in the second half. I mean, they're just kind of filling out Booker. Booker's kind of filling out them. But Booker's, you know, they seem like they're a little antsy, which is, you know.
I don't think we've seen enough Terrence Jones yet. I mean, I know his knee's bothering him everything, but you look at, going to the Booker stat sheet here, and Jones, 9 carries, 55 yards. Salgado starts off the game 4 for 5, but has now missed his last 4, including Sanchez's interception there. And Pace actually killed itself with the penalties. The holding penalty right before the break there negated a 21-yard gain to the 5-yard line. So which team can stop the mistakes or limit them in the second half is going to be successful.
And that's pretty much how this game has been going. Booker will get the ball to start the second half, so hopefully that offense will come out and spark behind Terrence Jones and Anthony Salgado on the quarterback. But also, we want to move on in this halftime show. Terrence Jones has been the guy that's just been dictating this offense. He's gotten these guys in the end zone 34 times he scored this year. I mean, he's the guy that's basically got it done for these guys week in and week out. I have an interview that I sat down with Terrence Jones, but first, I want to give you a little something special of his 2,500 yards that he rushed for this season. Check it out. Welcome back to Tornado Alley, where we're talking high school football. The 3A state semifinal game on the line. Booker Tornadoes down 9-7 at the half to Miami Monsignor Pace. We showed you just before the break Terrence Jones, his remarkable runs over the season. But I had the opportunity of sitting down with Terrence Jones on yesterday. We talked football, the Booker legacy of in this community. We talked a little bit about everything. Check it out. All right, T. Jones in the house, better known as Dragonfly to most people. Terrence, you know, since your freshman year, you've seen, you know, the ups and downs this school has had. You know, without a doubt, talent has always run through this school, but the team has yet to get to the playoffs, and even if they got to the playoffs, go far in the playoffs. Now, seeing where you guys are today, 13-0, and 2 games away from having it all, what goes through your mind just as a player, you know, from back then to right now? Like, wow, is it a big, you know, what do you think about that, the change?
It is a big difference, you know, coming in from middle school to high school. When you're a freshman, you think about state championship. So right now, as us being seniors, we're more mature. So we're really hard on that state championship, and that was one of our goals, like before the season even started, to get the state championship. So we're heading for that goal.
From day one this year, when you guys had your first practice, at what point, I guess I would say in this year, did you just feel like we're going to go far. We're going to go far in the season? Is there any moment that came to your mind?
Man, it wasn't really. Like I said before the season started, all the seniors came together and we said we got to make a difference. We got to be different from the last year's seniors. We got to all come together. We got to have like meetings. We got to tell the young cats, we got to coach them up. and we just been doing that. We've been successful so far.
For yourself, over 2,500 yards rushing, 30 some odd touchdowns, 9.8 yards per carry. Do you get caught up in numbers sometimes or no?
Not really.
But Friday night, it's all about just performance?
Yeah, just whoever shows up to play.
3A Player of the Year, you got snubbed of it from, a lot of, Coach Gilmore said it, some of your teammates have said it. What do you think about that award?
I think I should have got it, but I give much hands-on to the person who got it, which is Xavier Lee. He's a good player, so I just give hats off to him.
So what does that mean? Come Friday night against Pace, even though I know you're going to be game ready, but is part of that 3A Player of the Year award in the back of your mind stemming, say, hey, I need to put an extra effort into this game tonight?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it ever since I saw that he won it. I've been thinking about it a lot. Was thinking in my head that I should have got it, but I'm just going to go out Friday and play my normal game.
What do you think you mean to this team?
I mean a lot to the team, but the team is a good team. I wouldn't say without me they wouldn't be good, because without me they would be good with the seniors that we have and with keeping the team up. So I do mean a lot to this team.
What do you think, what comes to mind when you hear guys like Dumika Atkins, Chris Zellner, Baby James, Sam Shields, just those guys right off the top? What comes to mind when you hear those names right there?
Those good players. When I hear their name, I know they're going to go out and play hard. They're behind me 100%, so I just like playing with them.
You feel this team is like game tested for any type of scenario? Because if you look back on your season, you had the close game with overtime game with Southeast. You played a close one with Osceola. I mean, you guys have beat teams, 2 classifications up, and you're still 13-0. Do you feel that this team is just ready for any challenge that's thrown in front of them?
I think this team we probably can play a DeSalle team or something. We'll come out and probably pull it off. So yeah, this team is ready for any challenge.
So what are your thoughts on Friday night's game?
It's going to be a tough one, but I think we're going to pull it off.
Yeah. You guys feel that either you guys get the offense going rather quick, or the defense shuts down the wing T of Pace, that the Tornadoes are going to be partying?
Our defense is going to come out and play hard, no football every game. They've been doing it so far since we've been in the playoffs. And our offense, we're probably going to put up some numbers, but we don't know if we're going to put up numbers like on the first series. It might take us some time to take like 2 and 3 yards or whatever. But I think our offense is going to come through though.
All right, we're just minutes away before the second half begins, and like I said earlier, Booker does receive the ball in this second half, and Booker has to come out and set the tone early. They can't turn the ball over, and they must line up correctly to offset that wing T of Pace.
You're exactly right. They have to come out and make a statement on this first possession. Actually, both teams can, and I think we'll get a good gauge of where this game is heading off that first possession in the second half.
All right, following the game, I will be right back here for post-game wrap-up, but right after we come back from the commercial break, we'll have the second half. We'll be joined by Jeff Rhodes and Josh Taylor. Stay tuned.
Here's what...
Live coverage of Booker High School football is being brought to you by China Palace Express, LTM, and the Computer Room.
Welcome to Booker High School. We're just a short moment away from the second half kickoff, and what an exciting first half it has been. I'm Jeff Rhodes along with Josh Tyler. Josh, it's been a wild and crazy first half. I never would have expected a 9-7 score at the end of the first half.
Well, me neither. Coming into this game, you would have thought both of these teams high-power running offenses. Really, Booker's such an explosive offense. This would be a 28-21, 28-24 game at the half. Some abnormally high school football score. But what Miami Pace did here coming in the second half was they did what they needed to do. What we talked about before the game started, they controlled the clock. They kept the control of the ball. They ran 33 plays compared to Booker's 18, 16 minutes and 23 seconds of the clock. The ball was in Miami Pace's possession, and that's mainly because 2 turnovers turned into the 9 points for the Miami Pace Spartans.
I thought about questions that I would ask each coach about their defense and about their offense during the halftime. And for the Pace Spartans, if I was going to talk to the questions I have for Pace on defense, Jerry Millbrook, will he be the deciding factor again? This guy, Jerry Millbrook, is an outstanding defensive player.
And he's already made big plays throughout the first half, as we said, coming into the game as well. Millbrook has made interceptions late in the fourth quarter in close games against the two previous teams in the state semifinal, against Kathleen out of Lakeland, and in the state final against the 9th-ranked Cocoa Tigers, and that put Miami Pace into this game, and it's basically on the hands of Jerry Millbrook. He doesn't make that play, it's a lot more, the game becomes a lot more wide open, and a lot of things could be different. Booker could be playing Kathleen, or Booker could be playing Cocoa if it was not for Milburn. So Milburn, you've got to say, is a big factor and will be a big factor as the game goes on.
For offense, the question I have for this Pace Spartans, can they continue to control the football, and can they score TDs instead of field goals?
You know what, I know Coach Fred Gilmore and the entire Booker coaching staff has really talked to those guys in the locker room at the half. 9 points is not abnormal. 2-point lead is not something that you can't overcome. Field goals, as long as they keep on holding them to field goals, but the coaching staff expects a lot more out of this defense, and they've given them a lot more throughout the year, only allowing 12 points per game. So you know the Booker defense is really going to come out here on a mission, really settle down, cut down on the mistakes and the penalties they made in the first half. If they cut down on those, that's going to be the difference.
Here's the question I have for Booker's defense. Will DeMarca Atkins play more at nose guard? He can take control of the football game.
DeMarca Atkins usually is the second half nose tackle for the Booker Tornadoes. He comes in, they wear him down, they keep on shifting out the linemen on the defensive line. Always keep a fresh guy in there. Not all too unlike the Miami Hurricanes. They keep fresh guys on the defensive line, wear down that offensive line. That's why we see Booker as a second half team. They wear down those guys up front.
Atkins must play more
and he will,
second half.
And he will be in the game. He usually is in there for most of the second half, because the first half they wear him down, really keep him fresh, but then they put DeMarca Atkins in there at nose guard and really just try and shove it up the gut, and that's what they do.
Last question for the Booker offense. Can they play second half football mistake-free?
And we've seen it all year long that when Booker has exploded for big points, it has been in the second half, usually in the third quarter. We saw them against Venice put up all 41 points of theirs in the third quarter. We saw them put up 14 points in 1 minute last week in the third quarter. This team is going to explode. It's just a matter of when and where.
Jones and Phelps will drop deep for the Tornadoes as Tommy Cruz, the freshman, kicked a 42-yard field goal in the first half, will kick off to the Booker Tornadoes. The Spartans leading 9-7, and the second half is underway here at Tornado Alley. And it will be Jones at the 17, over the 25, 30, straight up the gut to the 35, still going to the 40, to the 43-yard line. Typical punt or kickoff return by the Tornadoes.
Terrence Jones running it right up the middle, using his blockers and using his speed. That's a great play right there, but we've seen Booker do that the 2 times they've received kickoffs. They do that little short high kick, and then allows the Booker return man to really be up to speed when he catches the ball. And really, if your pace in this game stays this tight, think about kicking that ball deep, making him catch that ball on his heels so he has to come up to speed instead of being at speed.
Playa goes to the far side, Shields to the near side, Weeks the fullback, Jones the tailback, Salgado the quarterback. It's Jones up the middle, bounces to the outside. Well, I'll tell you what, the Spartans defense, they've got to have a scout or a rover who is spying Jones. Wherever Jones goes, they've got to have a defensive linebacker pursuing. That time it was Brandon Brown on the tackle, but I got to believe that the Spartan game plan coming in was to shadow or spy a defensive player to Jones. Wherever Jones goes, that defensive player is going, because it certainly looked that way on that play right there.
But that's not an unusual tactic. We've seen a lot of teams key off on Jones all season long because they know that he's the go-to guy. He regularly has 200 yards by himself on the ground in the game. You've got to spy him.
4-man defensive front. Jones up the middle, breaking tackles. He's inside the 45. He's down to the Spartan 42-yard line. A gain of about 13 on the play. First down, Tornadoes. And I'll tell you, he's a shoestring away from breaking that all the way.
And that's the difference between this Pace defense right now and other defenses that have played Booker throughout the year. That run right there is a touchdown against most teams, but the Pace defense is able to make the shoestring tackles when they need to make them. They're not allowing Jones to really get that big run. They're stopping them. First downs are fine. 11-yard gains are fine, but it's keeping the 6 off the board.
Well, Brandon Brown was on the tackle again. He might be that spy that's in charge of covering Jones. First down. Salgado to throw. Has time. Deep down the sideline for Shields. Shields is there. Great defensive play. He can't come up with it. Who is that defender? Is that Millbrook on the defense?
Who do you think? It's Jerry Millbrook.
Jerry Millbrook. Shields had a step and a half, but Jerry Millbrook, unbelievable. Jerry Millbrook. They've got Jerry Millbrook listed at 5'9", 180 pounds. I don't believe that. Jerry Millbrook looks like he's about 6 foot 6'1". He doesn't look like he's 5'9". Jerry Millbrook looks like, so there's the play. Can Millbrook be a deciding factor? He already is this second half.
Well, I'll tell you what, the reason why Sam Shields is always the go-to guy for this Booker offense is right there. That ball was batted. He still got his hands around it 3 or 4 times and just barely dropped that ball. That could have been a touchdown on a great play by Sam Shields to really keep his head in there. Almost got that ball.
Jones straight ahead on second down and 10, and he is close to the 35-yard line. He'll be shy of a first down by about 3 yards, but what's interesting is how effective the Tornadoes are running inside. So the key right now is the Tornadoes are running inside, but they're also testing that defense deep with that pass, and that's huge. I think that's a great strategy.
They're using the run to open up the pass. Give it to Jones, give it to Jones. That pass is a play action off of Jones.
But it's a deep pass.
It's a deep pass too, but it's a play action off of Jones. They're using the run to set up the pass, and that's the way they're going to have to win the football game. That's Booker football.
Well, the Spartans are coming out with a 4-man defensive front and 3 linebackers, so it's a 4-3 defense. Now they're crowding up some linebackers. Toss sweep to Jones. He's going to get the first down as he dives close to the 41-yard line, and that will be a first down. Julio Sanchez on the tackle. He's only a sophomore, and I'll tell you something, this Spartan team is scary. They've only got 13 seniors on the whole squad. Half their starters are underclassmen, juniors and sophomores.
Anybody who had a question whether this Pace team was a state championship caliber team coming into this game with only 13 seniors, they're getting their questions answered right now. They're sticking with this Booker Tornado football team.
Shields is the wide out to the near side, and it is Jones who's running with some ferocity. He is to the 35-yard line. You know, the best description I've ever heard of a running back is that he plays like his hair is on fire. And I'll tell you something, watching Terrence Jones run, that's what it looks like. It looks like he's running like his hair's on fire.
He's getting the ball. He's running hard. He wants nothing more than put 6 up on the board for his team, and he's getting great blocks led by Greg Weeks, his fullback.
Second down and 5 for the Tornadoes at the Spartan 35-yard line. Jones again on the handoff up the middle. Ooh, hit hard, but he does get some forward progress. Wow, late contact going on. And that's Dumaka Adkins, number 58 for the Tornadoes, who is the guy on the short end of that stick. Julio Sanchez on the tackle, but Dumaka Adkins, you know, there was some extracurricular activity long after the whistle had blown.
Well, you know, those Pace defenders too have got to be trying to get under the skin of Atkins. They're got to try and be frustrating him. There's nothing more dangerous than a frustrated lineman, because then they start making stupid mistakes. If you get under his skin, I wouldn't want to mess with them personally.
You don't want to make Dumaka Adkins mad. His nickname is Doom, and I can tell you why. 6'5", 280-pounder.
I didn't say I was doing it.
Flags go down as it's 3rd down and 4 for the Tornadoes. This may be delay of game as it's called by the referee on the near side. No, it's going to be offsides, lining up in the neutral zone, and that'll give the Tornadoes a first down inside the 25-yard line of the Spartans. The Spartans are leading 9-7 with 8 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter at Tornado Alley.
That's a big mistake by the Pace Spartans. You had them deep, 3rd and 7. That was a really key situation for the Booker Tornadoes to have to convert. They really haven't shown that they can convert down there. They haven't had many opportunities to do it all day long, but you give them a free first down, and we've seen a lot of teams give Booker a lot of free first downs, and that's been the end.
Shields is the near side wideout, and Palaio the far side wideout, and that is Zellner going in motion to the far side. 1st and 10, handoff to Jones. He's blitzed, and he's hit in line, but breaks out. Jones could go, makes a tackle inside the 10, down to the 7, but that is Terrence Jones right there. Does that not look like a guy who's running with his hair on fire? Man, I'll tell you what, he was blitzed. He was blitzed by 2 inside linebackers, stepped out of some tackles, and there you have it.
I'm sure that the reason why there are a lot of defensive coordinators losing hair right now, losing sleep right now, is they see tape of Terrence Jones. He was surrounded by 4 white jerseys, and he got out of it and made it an 11-yard gain and a first down. How do you stop this guy? I don't know. Jermaine Finley made that touchdown-saving tackle. 1st and goal from the Spartans' 6-yard line. Fernandez is the wide out to the near side. Shields at the top. Flags go down. This could be delay a game against the Tornadoes, as this is called by the referee behind the safety, and it is going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Tornadoes. And here's that question: can they play mistake-free the second half? These little penalties, not so big a deal. Well, Salgado right there backed out of the position to take the snap. Looked like he was trying to check off to a play and just lost track of the time of the play clock. You got to have, when you're the quarterback, you got to know exactly how much time you have to check off.
1st and goal from the 11-yard line. It is Jones up the middle, tackled from behind, but again, Jones picks up about 5 yards. Looks like Jose Serpa, one of the tackles. He's a captain. Jose Serpa, number 78, defensive lineman, 6'2", 220 pounds. He's a captain. I'll tell you something, he looks a lot bigger than 220 pounds. Jose Serpa looks like he's one of those guys at 260, 270.
Well, you know they never lie on these on the rosters. Usually it's 2 inches taller and 20 pounds
doesn't
heavier.
Look like he's 5'9" either. Oh, here we go. 2nd down and goal to go from the Spartan 8-yard line. 6:18 to play in the 3rd quarter. Shotgun formation. Salgado inside pitch. Ooh, risky play down there. I know it's to Jones, but Jones is also being spied by a linebacker. So everywhere Jones is going, a linebacker's going. You know, that's a little bit, that is considered a forward pass, not a pitch. So the risk is somewhat diminished by the fact that it's a forward pass. So now we have 3rd down and goal from the Spartans' 7-yard line.
It's a shovel pass, and that's really the way that play is designed. Run out and run to the outside like you're going to roll out, or Salgado's going to keep it. Send Jones to the inside. If the outside's covered, you got your deep, you got your pitch man, you got your backup man to go to, and that little shovel pass is it.
Tornadoes call timeout, and it's a good thing they did. You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletics Association's Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
Here's what people are saying about
China Palace Express, LTM, and the computer room.
Welcome back to Booker High School, home of the Tornadoes. Big 3rd down for the Tornadoes at the Spartans' 7-yard line. Well, you're going to have Greg Weeks in the tailback position. He'll be the own back, triple set to the far side. That includes Terrence Jones. Salgado, look at the pressure up the middle. Incomplete. A blitz. The Spartans, they call a well-timed defensive blitz. That was intended to be a screen pass to Weeks to the near sideline, but Salgado was pressured. He couldn't find Weeks. He just kind of threw to his release point, but he didn't see Weeks. He was just throwing to his release point that he's accustomed to.
Nice defensive call by the Miami Pace defensive coordinator and the head coach right there, sending the blitz. They sent everybody on that play. They were either going to get the quarterback or give up the touchdown, and they got the quarterback, and here comes Grant Martin for the kick.
And it'll be about a 24-yard field goal attempt from the near hash mark. Kick is up. It's a nice-looking kick. It is good. And the Booker Tornadoes take a 1-point lead, 10-9, with 5:24 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Nice play right there. They got stopped. They settled down. They came out, made the right call right there. Didn't try and go for it and get it all right there. Got the lead back. 24-yard field goal by Grant Martin, and a 10-9 football game. Booker back on top. And the Florida High School Athletic Association recognizes its corporate sponsors whose support helps to make the FHSAA football championships possible. Dodge and your Florida Dodge dealers, presenting sponsor of the 2003 FHSAA football finals. Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the United States Marine Corps, Beef O'Brady's Family Sports Pubs, Pinch a Penny Pools, Patios, and Spas, the Sunshine Network, the television home of the 2003 FHSAA football finals, and Spalding, the official ball of the FHSAA football finals.
Well, we've got the Spartan defense coming onto the field. The key for me, I'm sorry, the Spartan offense will be coming on the field, so the Booker defense will be coming on. Will DeMarca Atkins go out with his defensive unit, or will he just be a one dimension defensive player, meaning third down passing situations? In my opinion, DeMarca Atkins has to play a lot defensively for the Tornadoes. Grant Martin's 24-yard field goal gives the Booker Tornadoes a 10-9 lead with 5:24 to play in the third quarter. Martin's kick a little bit short, gonna bounce, picked up, straight up the gut to the 32-yard line goes Bethel. Carlos Bethel returns to the Spartans' 32-yard line. Actually, it's going to be spotted at the 31. So the key now is Atkins. No, Atkins is sitting on the sideline for the Tornadoes. I'm not sure at this stage in the season, with a trip to the state championship on the line, I'm not so sure, Josh, I would keep Atkins on the sideline.
They're going to rotate him in and out. They've always rotated those defensive linemen all the time. Keep him fresh. He's playing both ways. Keep him fresh. Let him in there when he's...
Collins gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. I don't know, maybe they don't need Atkins in that line, but I'll tell you something, when it comes to a passing game, nobody rushes the passer better than DeMarca Atkins.
Well, they didn't come this far to be 13-0 without the coaches really understanding their team, understanding how they work. And with DeMarca Atkins going both ways, some guys take a little longer to recover. That could be what they're doing. They've got a lot of defensive linemen. They're going to rotate them out, keep them fresh, and really wear down that offensive line for pace.
Maybe James Harris on that tackle for the Tornadoes. Collins gets the ball. He's going to be dropped for a short gain. Steve Fugarus on the tackle, a gain of 2, but it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Spartans at their own 33-yard line.
The Booker defense really taking the momentum gained by taking the lead on the 24-yard kick, really making something out of it now. 3rd and long situation. They've just got to prevent, they're probably going pass here.
Well, watch Quentin Andrews. He's the wideout, top of the screen. In motion goes double reverse to Andrews. He's got some running room. Andrews over the 35. He's to the 40 and run out of bounds at the 43-yard line. But that should be good enough for the first down. I don't know. Maybe the spot is a little bit short. It looks like it's spotted at the 41, so it looks like Andrews was driven out of bounds by Detrick Belvin short of the first down, but it looked like that double reverse initially had some big play potential, but again, that shows you the speed, the recovery ability of this Booker defense.
The speed and recovery, they had to throw something misdirection out there to really pick up that much yardage on this defense, and that's what Pace came up with. Double reverse, well executed, timely fashion. Handoffs are made flawlessly, and they're bringing out the chains to find out if there's a first down, but a great play call by the Pace offensive coordinators.
It looks like they're going to be just short. Wow, this looks like credit card distance from a first down.
It's about the clasp.
Man, we're talking.
It's about the clasp on the chain.
You got to go for this one.
You've got to.
Although a fumbled snap and the game could be you could really put yourself in a hole.
But even if you don't go for it, even if you don't go for it, with as much as Booker's been jumping on the defensive sideline with many mistakes,
delay your count.
Send the guy up there, hard count. Tell him whatever you do, don't hike the ball when it looks like you're about to take the delay. Take it and punt the ball away.
The Spartans are going to go for it as I would expect. Quentin Andrews is the wide receiver at the top of your screen. The H-back to the near side is Millbrook. Jeremy Roberts is a quarterback. Look for him to play the hard count and then do a quarterback sneak. If anything, I wouldn't chance a handoff. It's either going to be a hard count or a quarterback sneak. Quarterback sneak, and he's going to get it. It looks like Roberts has enough. He only needed a couple of inches.
And a couple
he only needed a couple inches, and it is a first down. Steve Fugarus along with a host of other Tornadoes in on that tackle, but it is a first down at the Spartan 42-yard line. 3:43 to play in the third quarter. Spartans trail the Tornadoes 9-10. And the difference, Josh, is a missed extra point.
Missed extra point by Pace on their first touchdown, an 8-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter, and that's the difference in the game.
And it's Bethel over the left side. He's hit and dropped after a short gain of about 2 on the play.
Baby James Harris pulled him down by the back of his shoulder pad. It looked like...
There goes Atkins, number 58, Atkins, Dumaka Doom, as they call him on the Booker team, comes in to play some defensive line. And it is Darian Platt that comes out. So Dumaka Atkins comes in for Darian Platt, 2nd down and 8 for the Spartans at their own 44-yard line. 6-man defensive front, inside handoff, second man through. Oh my goodness, and that goes Carlos Bethel inside the 45, down to the Booker 42-yard line. On that tackle was Oliver McNeil, and I'll tell you what, when your safety's making tackles on running plays up the middle, not a good thing.
Not a good thing at all. 14-yard pickup and a big first down right there by the Pace Spartans. Going to keep the clock moving. They controlled the time possession in the first half. That's how they had the lead. Lost it, as you said, missed extra point in the first quarter is the only difference in this football game. And they're trying to send it back down the field, pick up the 7 this time, and take a 6-point lead.
Well, they ran right by Dumaka Atkins on that one. Toss sweep coming to the near side. Can't turn a corner. Just can't do it. Just can't do it. I know you got to keep them in. You got to keep the defense honest. Baby James Harris is all over the field, as was the initial tackler, Darian Platt, also on that tackle. You just can't run wide, but I understand why you got to do it. You got to keep the defense honest. But as you can see, the Spartans don't have the speed to go wide.
Well, not a lot of teams have had the speed to go wide. I don't think any team has successfully run to the outside on Booker all year long, but you still got to do it. You run wide, they have to spread back out that defensive line that's stacking in the middle.
2nd down and 8. Straight a handoff to Collins. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to be stuffed. A short gain on the play to the 40-yard line. Darian Platt on the tackle. Dumaka Atkins also in on that tackle. Big third
but
down
another
play
third and long situation. We've seen Pace convert on these all night long. Look for the pass. They used the double reverse last time. Misdirection is going to be key.
Well, Millbrook is the H-back or wing-back to the near side. He's going out for a pass. Roberts to throw the ball into the flat to the far side. He's got his tight on. That's Collins out of the backfield. Collins inside the 20-10. 5 Collins is in for the touchdown. Wow, Conridge Collins is in for the touchdown from 41 yards out. The pass to Roberts. The wideout who is Quentin Andrews went deep. He cleared out. He took everybody. Quentin Andrews took the double team deep, left a gaping void to that far side, and that's where Collins drifted out of the backfield. Nice, well-designed play by the Spartans, and they have taken a 15-10 lead over the Tornadoes with the extra point, possibly the 2-point conversion to follow. But the key in the second half for the Pace offense was, can they score TDs? And yes, they can. Timeout on the field. 15-10 is our score in favor of the Spartans. You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association's Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
Live coverage of Booker High School football is being brought to you by China Palace Express.
Well, the Spartans are going to go for the 2-point play. The pass is Roberts over the middle, caught! Wow. I'll tell you something, for a team that hasn't been very successful with a passing game coming into the football game, the Spartans look like a very good passing team. They now take a 17-10 lead over the Booker Tornadoes with 1:10 to play in the third quarter. And you know what, Josh? I see some concern on the Booker sidelines.
They've been down before, though. They've played close games before. It hasn't happened in a while, but they have been here before. They know the way out. You cannot take away from this Booker offense. They do explode throughout the entire game. Doesn't matter when it happens, but when it does, it happens in unison, and it happens multiple times. Pace starts turning the ball over, you're going to see that offense just really open up because they're going to get the momentum back. What needs to happen for Booker right now is they need something positive to happen, whether it's a kickoff return for a touchdown, whether it's just a long drive that's sustained, they get the touchdown, tie the game up, but they need something. Score update for you in the North region for the state semifinals in Class 3A. Of course, the winner of this game will play the winner of Jacksonville Bolles and Dunnellon. Right now, Bolles leads Dunnellon 13-0. Bolles 4th ranked in Class 3A. They look to be going to Gainesville as well, and it wouldn't be that long of a drive for the Jacksonville Terry Bolles High School.
I'll tell you what, the Spartans are not exactly controlling the football. They'll get in a third down situation of 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, but somehow, man, they are picking them up in a big way. That was a well-designed pass to Collins out of the backfield after Quentin Andrews cleared out. Here's the kickoff going to Phelps on the far sideline at the 20-yard line, 25-30. Phelps trying to break to the outside, cuts back in, 35, 40, 45. He could go, and it's Phelps all the way. Phelps is going to score. Phelps on the kickoff. Holy cow.
82 yards.
Wow, just like that. The Booker Tornadoes.
Welcome to Booker football. For all of you who have not followed high school football throughout the year, that is Booker football right there.
My goodness, it's not Terrence Jones, it's not Sam Shields, it's Danny Phelps. 82-yard kickoff return just when the Tornadoes looked like they were down. Danny Phelps gives them that magic potion called excitement, called momentum, called pick you up off the ground.
You just saw all the air sink out of the west end to the west side of this field. You saw everybody from Pace jumping around when they scored that touchdown. Right now, they're all down. The entire Booker sideline has erupted.
And the kick is up, and we have a tie ball game with 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter. That play took all of 15 seconds. Only 15 seconds has elapsed off the clock, and the Booker Tornadoes have scored 7 points. And that is that magic elixir that the Tornadoes have had all year long. I'll never forget that Southeast game. Less than a minute and a half left to play. The Seminoles were leading 7-0. The Seminoles tried a handoff. It was dropped, and the Booker Tornadoes, I think it was McCray who picked it up and ran all the way for a game-tying touchdown.
Forced overtime, ended up winning that game in overtime. That saved Booker the district title right there. That clinched the district title for Booker. Southeast was less than a minute and 30 from not only handing Booker their first loss of the year, but it would have sent Booker into a playoff for the final spot into the playoffs. A 9-1 team might not have made it, but one mistake they were able to capitalize on. I said right before that happened, they need something positive to happen, like a kickoff return. Now Booker's back up, and Pace has got to be beside themselves because the Tornadoes are back in this football game, and nothing but bad things have happened to opponents of the Booker Tornadoes after plays like that happen.
Well, now the Tornadoes will be kicking off to some pretty dangerous return men of their own. Carlos Bethel and Jerry Millbrook. And you can hear the crowd here at Tornado Alley. The crowd was getting quiet after the Spartans scored their touchdown, but now the crowd is in it, the excitement is in it, and it's Millbrook faking the reverse. Millbrook keeps it up the middle. He's got some running room. He's out of the 30 to the 34-yard line. Jerry Millbrook on that return.
Well, the biggest thing for the Spartans right now is don't make the mistake of the predecessors before them. All the teams that have had Booker in this situation panicked here, thought that they couldn't survive without a lead, thought that they couldn't survive tied with the game, went for something big and ended up making a mistake and turning the ball over. They need to go back to playing the football that has got them this far. They are 17-17 with the second-ranked team in 3A, the highest seed left alive. They need to keep on doing what has worked.
Bethel around the left side. He's got a little bit of running room, picks up about 4 yards. But the key now is, can the Booker defense hold the Spartans on third down? It's been third down that the Spartan offense has been killing the Booker defense.
You know the Booker defense is going to step up. They see a third and long situation. Pace has got to be running out of plays to run that third down that's going to keep that defense on their heels. They've run the double reverse. They've run the screen pass out of a play action. There is not a lot left in the Pace playbook Millbrook to catch these guys by surprise now.
2nd down and 6 for the Spartans. Inside reverse to, it looks like Dixon.
Millbrook.
Or is that Millbrook, number 11? And that's a little, kind of a twist off of a wingback reverse, except instead of taking the wingback and going outside, the wingback cuts inside between the defense or the offensive tight end and the offensive tackle. It's kind of like an off-tackle play that starts out as a misdirection play up the middle. Daniel Phelps on the tackle for the Tornadoes. Fourth quarter, the fourth quarter is upon us. The score is 17-17. You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletics Association Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
The computer.
Live coverage of Booker.
Bethel going around the right side, cuts inside, has some running room, picks up about 8 yards to the Booker 47-yard line. That's the best outside run of the night. Tackled over there by Oliver McNeil, a defensive back, but that's the best outside run that the Spartans have had tonight.
Pick up a 9 and they got it to the outside, ran around the left side flank and got around them and was brought down, was actually pulled back by McNeil, but a great play by the linebacker coming over, actually the safety coming over and making the stop.
2nd down and a yard from the Tornado 46-yard line. Inside handoff to Collins, and the big man's got the first down as he dives inside the 45. DeMaka Atkins is playing nose guard for the Tornadoes. But I'll tell you something, this Spartan offense has really picked up in efficiency this second half. They are really executing well. And I'm impressed with their passing game. They came into tonight's football game with a reputation of being a running game, but man, their passing game has been a huge factor in this football game. 1st and 10 Spartans at the Booker 42-yard line. Inside handoff to Collins, bounces off, he's got some running room, he's inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line, a gain of about 8 on the play. And then again, it's McCray, Michael McCray on the tackle, Oliver McNeil also on that tackle. Timeout officials, it looks like it's close enough for a measurement, but man, I'll tell you something, this Spartan offense now is clicking.
They're coming over to the sideline.
Oh, it looks like do we have an injured player? Is that...
It looks like Brandon McCrae is out there stretching his calf, but sideline warning on the Booker. Yeah.
Were they getting out on the field or what? Are they getting too close to the field or
something's happening? But now sideline warning has been issued on the Booker Tornadoes. So.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what the
whether it's extracurriculars going on after or yelling from the sideline or coming onto the field early. There's got to be something to warrant that.
Well, 2nd down and a yard, and it is going to be Bethel around the right side, cut inside, stumbles forward to the 22. Bethel almost breaks it.
Big play by number 14, Michael McCray. Sticks a hand out as he's getting sidestepped and just takes enough off the defender to stop him. Enough off the runner to stop him for an 11-yard run because he was gone.
Carlos Bethel is really turning on the gas. He wasn't much of a factor in the first half, but he is definitely a factor here in the second half. Collins runs by Atkins. He's inside the 15. He's down to the 13-yard line. Wow, it looks to me like something has changed because this is not the same running game that we saw in the first half of the Spartans. They are clicking on all cylinders right now. Michael McCray makes a tackle for the Tornadoes. He again is a defensive back, and right now the defensive backs of the Tornadoes are making all the tackles, but I'm impressed, Josh, with the way the Spartan offense is really clicking right now.
The Spartan offense is clicking. They've been doing it all night. They've been taking a lot of time off the clock, keeping the Booker defense on the field a lot of time, and that's a lot to take out. That's a lot to take and put on a body. So the guys on the Booker on defense have got to be wearing down.
Second man through is Bethel, and he's down inside the 5-yard line. And the Spartans are picking up 5-6 yards a crack, sometimes 8. The key right now is the Spartans are picking up good yardage, 7-8 yards, 9 yards on first down. But we've seen throughout the game when they only get 1 or 2 yards on first down, they struggle.
Well, their last couple runs, 14 yards, 9 yards, 1 yard, 11 yards, 4 yards, 9 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards. They're picking up big chunks of yardage when they need it.
They're dominating right now, and the Tornadoes Dumaka Atkins gets into the backfield and spins Collins down along with Darian Platt. Number 58, Dumaka Atkins, he's a physical specimen, 6'5", 285 pounds.
Number 62, Steve Bogaris was in on that stop as well. Got penetration through Atkins' hole. And
look at this big guy in nose guard, number 58 for the Tornadoes. Dumaka Atkins, he and his crew need to stop the Spartans on third down. Bethel up the middle. It's stuffed. Bethel's not going to get in. And it'll bring up fourth down now from the Tornado 3-yard line. Will the Spartans kick the field goal? It is a tie ball game, 17-17 with 8:24 to play.
This is really a question of how much you trust your defense and your special teams to win this game for you right here. Field goal puts you up 3, but you still have 8 minutes left on the clock. That's plenty of time for Booker to go off on one of their tangents. If they kick
they're going to go for the
you got to take the points in this situation though.
Tommy Cruz, the freshman kicker for the Spartans, will attempt, looks like a 23-yard field goal. He had an extra point block. The kick is up. It's end over end. It's good. It's through the uprights. 20-17. The Spartans over the Tornadoes with 7:47 to play in the fourth quarter. You're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association's Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
508.
508.
Yeah.
11 plays, 62-yard for it takes 5 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock, and a field goal gives Miami Monsignor Pace a 3-point lead, 20-17 here at Tornado Alley in Sarasota. Along with Jeff Rhodes, my name is Josh Tyler.
Well, Dumaka Atkins is playing nose guard a lot more the second half, but he's not been much of a factor as the Spartans are ripping up the middle. But, you know, the key, though, the Spartans were held out of the end zone. They did score a TD the second half, and they've kicked a field goal the second half. And the key is, can the Spartans score TDs? Slipping on the play is, I'm not so sure that wasn't an intentional slip, but it was certainly a squib kick recovered in there. But that might be the best strategy of all, keeping the ball out of the hands.
Using the turf to get the guy down on the field so he can't return the football, especially after that 82-yard break on the kickoff before.
By Phelps.
Donald Hubbard in on the recovery for the Booker Tornadoes as they will take it 1st and 10 here in the fourth quarter.
Well, you know, when we did the Venice football game, Venice wouldn't kick the ball deep. They knew the potential that Booker had. So the Tornadoes trailing by 3, 20-17 with 7:47 to play in the fourth quarter, start at their own 28-yard line. Salgado to throw the ball. It's batted down, almost intercepted by the defensive end. It's like is that Marcus Vlad Faustin, number 55.
Boston senior defensive end, 6'3", 225 listed as, but it looks more like he's about 6'5" from my vantage point. Jumps up there, puts both big paws around the football, nearly returns that one for a touchdown. That would have definitely put a kink in the Booker plans for a comeback here.
Well, so far the Spartan defense has done a very good job defending against Terrence Jones. They haven't given Terrence Jones that breakaway run. He's got the ball now. He's trying to cut to the outside, but he is swarmed under by about 4 Spartan defenders. And I'm certain that there's a Spartan linebacker spying Jones. Wherever Jones goes, that linebacker's going to go. But I'm telling you, the Spartans are doing a real good job of defending Terrence Jones. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Tornadoes. A key 3rd down, very big 3rd down right now for the Tornadoes. 3rd down and 10 for the Tornadoes at their own 29-yard line. Give us to Jones up the middle. He's going to come up way short. He'll be, he's only out to the 34-yard line. On the tackle is Brandon Brown. We've called Brandon Brown's name a number of times, and it may be possible that it is Brandon Brown that is spying Terrence Jones. But it is 4th down and 4, and the Tornadoes are going to punt, and dropping back deep will be Carlos Bethel. And Bethel has had a great second half for the Spartans. Spartans leading 20-17 with 6.5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. High snap, kick is away. High, short kick. Bethel's going to let it bounce at the Spartan 45, and it's going to get a roll. But we got a flag down. I don't know. It looked to me like a late hit or a block in the back by number 78, Jose Serpa of the Spartans.
Well, number 34, Ryan Jackson, went for a ride for the Booker Tornadoes. Looks like he took a late hit.
Holding against the Tornadoes. And then we got a personal foul, a block in the back, or pushing by the Spartans. And I don't know how you hold, if you're the punt coverage team, I guess unless you're trying to keep, well, I don't know. How would you be holding? If you're covering downfield on the punt, why would you want to hold the defensive guy? I don't know. Well, it'll be.
Looks like he just pointed in the wrong direction.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, holding against the Spartans. So the Spartans with a 3-point lead, 20-17, will have the ball. 6:15 to play in the fourth quarter. Now the key is Booker defense. Can they get that 3 and out? Can they get that turnover, that defensive change of possession on downs, or a turnover? Right now, the Spartan offense is really clicking. Click, snap, Bethel getting the handoff around the outside, cuts inside that defensive end and picks up about 7 yards. Key first down running by the Spartans the second half.
Well, that's what they've got to do. They've got to keep taking. That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to keep at it, trying to go to the outside here, really try and wear down that defense more. The defense spent a lot of time on the field in the first half, nearly 17 minutes. Now spending a lot more time out there in the second half as well.
Warren Ellis on the tackle for the Tornadoes. Quick snap, Collins the handoff. He's got the first down as he powers his way out over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Well, it'll be very close to a first down. But the key is the good running on first down. That 7, 8, 9-yard gain on first down. That is absolutely the key this second half for the Spartans.
Well, the other key to the second half too is when Booker is stopping them, first and second down, third down and 9 situations, third down and 8, they're converting with big plays. There's really nothing that the Booker offense can do to really shut down a drive to make them punt the ball away.
Inside handoff to Collins. He's got some breaking. He's out into the open. He's inside the Booker 40. Collins is down to the 34-yard line, and the Collins-Bethel combination is breaking the backs of the Tornadoes this second half.
Darian Platt comes out of his linebacker position after the ball was already by him. Two safeties force him back towards the inside to try and cut back, and Darian Platt makes him pay for trying to cut back. The sophomore linebacker takes him down hard. But once again, another big running play and another big first down for
right now. The Booker defense, Josh, does not have an answer. Inside handoff to Collins, and the Tornadoes stack up the defense, but Collins is still finding a way to pick up 5, 6, 7 yards, and then he breaks it every now and then inside the 30-yard line, tackled in there by Chris Zellner. But man, the Tornadoes had 7, 8 guys inside the box on that one, and Collins is still picking up 7 yards.
And the Booker defense, they're wrapping up. It's just that they can't really bring him to the ground. I don't know what's going on down there, but he's falling forward. That's what you need to do.
This guy Conrad Collins, man, he's a physical specimen, 6 foot, 210 pounds. Bethel gets hammered in the backfield. How he held on to that ball, I don't know. Darian Platt, number 14, Demaka Atkins, number 15, number 58, and Michael McCray, number 14 on that tackle. Man, I'll tell you what, now that was a hit. I don't know how Bethel held on to that ball. We're down inside 4 minutes, 3:55 and counting. This is huge for the Tornadoes as the Spartans hold a 3-point lead, 20-17, and the Spartans are getting close to field goal distance. Huge third down. Official timeout, Booker timeout, and with that timeout, you're watching the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association's Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
LTM and the Computer Room.
Welcome back to Booker High School. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty right now. 3:40 to play in the fourth quarter, 20-17. The Spartans over the Tornadoes. This is a huge third down for the Booker defense because the Spartans are only about 8 yards away from being in Tommy Cruz field goal range. Third down, Booker crowding the line of scrimmage. There's the snap. Roberts rolling right. He's going to keep it. Can't get outside. He's going to lose yardage. That's a huge defensive play. Huge defensive play by the Tornadoes. And it's Detrick Belvin. Detrick Belvin tackling Roberts. That took any chance of Cruz kicking a field goal. It'll be 4th down and 8. That's going to force the Spartans to go for it on 4th down. Another Booker timeout, Josh. I kind of wonder about that one.
That's their last timeout, too. So Booker spent their last timeout. 3:18 left on the clock. They're hoping they're going to get the ball back here. 4th down and 8. Hoping that Pace doesn't go for it here. But 4th down and 8, we've seen them convert before. And really, you punt it here, you're going to give them the ball on the 20 because it's real hard to pin them down in the corner when you're punting from about your own 50-yard line. The 2003 FHSAA Football Final State Championship games will be played December 11th through the 13th at Ben Hill Griffith Stadium on the campus of the University of Florida in Gainesville. The Class 1A and 4A championship games will be played on Thursday, December 11th. The Class 2 and 5A championship games will be played on Friday the 12th, and the Class 2B, 3A, and 6A championship games will be played on Saturday the 13th. Admission to each game is $8, so plan to attend and watch the best teams in the Florida high school football play for the coveted state crown. For more information, visit the FHSAA website at www.fhsaa.org.
Well, it looks like the Spartans are going to punt on 4th down and 8 from the Booker 32-yard line. Nobody's deep for the Tornadoes. A squib kick up the middle, and it looks like Phelps is going to let it roll. It's inside the 5, and was it downed? No, it went into the end zone. Wow, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something, this Spartan team, they've got all the tricks. Now, you would expect them to do a short, high kick, but they just did a slow roller up the middle. And now the Booker Tornadoes are 80 yards away from tying or winning this football game with 3:10 to play in the fourth quarter.
It looked like he just drop kicked that ball right there. Just kicked it, got it down on the ground, and was able to get it to roll. And one Spartan was about a half step away from downing that ball on the half-yard line, but the ball goes in the end zone. Booker's going to get it back on the 20. 80 yards to go and 3:10 on the clock to do it. No timeouts.
Phelps and Shields comes wide to the near side. Looks like Weeks is a lone setback. Salgado to throw the ball, has time, fires deep for Shields, it's underthrown. It's incomplete, defended by Dixon. Nice play by Dixon. I kind of wonder if it's not a little bit too early. That shows me kind of a sign of desperation on the Tornadoes' part. You've got 3 minutes to go. Give the ball to Terrence Jones. See if you can move the ball down the field. I kind of wonder about hitting a home run right there.
Well, you got to go for it quick. Try and catch them off balance. They're going to expect you to take a lot of time off the clock, maybe thinking they're going to catch them sleeping there, going for it all in the first play.
Yeah,
the problem with that is you connect on that. That's 2 minutes and 50 seconds that the other team's got to drive down the field.
Yeah,
We've seen Pace drop.
Now you have no yardage on 1st down. It's 2nd down and 10 from your own 20. Again, Salgado throw blitz up the middle. Intended for Zellner, the tight end.
And almost picked off by number 11.
Salgado had to throw that ball in a hurry. So, see, now you backed yourself in the corner by that incomplete pass on 1st down. And that was a good defensive strategy on the Spartans. 2nd down and 10. Good chance you're going to throw. They blitz, put pressure on Salgado. His pass is incomplete to Zellner. Now you got 3rd down and 10. This is huge for the Tornadoes. Absolutely huge.
Well, we've seen them convert on these plays all season long. And now if there's not a bigger time in Booker football in 2003 for them to convert on the 3rd down and 10, it's right here.
Well, now they'll send wide receivers out, keeping Weeks in as a blocking back. Weeks has not run the football yet tonight, so he's not a threat. Salgado to throw the ball. He's looking, he's scrambling. Fires over the middle for Zellner, overthrows. It's intercepted. It's intercepted. And that is Andrews. Quentin Andrews has intercepted Salgado's pass. I think the Tornadoes got themselves in trouble, Josh, coming out, throwing the ball in this final drive. And now the Pace Spartans can't control the clock because the Tornadoes are out of timeouts. And it could be the Pace Spartans going to Gainesville to play for the state championship next week. Wow, huge football game. What an exciting football game this has been. And I got a feeling it's not over yet.
2:46 left to go. Anything can happen. We saw it in the Southeast game. Southeast had Booker beat, fumbled the football, went to overtime. Booker was able to win the football game. So don't count Booker out here.
Well, no timeouts. You know the Spartans are going to keep the handoff in tight, and they give it to Collins, their workhorse inside. Stop for no gain, but the clock is going to run. They can run 30 seconds off between snaps. They're not going to be in any hurry to get this off. The only thing the Booker Tornadoes can hope for is for the ball to run out on, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to have any time left.
One thing I noticed on that play, you might have saw it at home as well, they're going for the strip. They're not going for the tackle. They're going for the strip. First man to make contact is putting his hand on the football, trying to pull out the football. Booker was second in the area in forced turnovers, had the second best turnover ratio behind Venice.
Bethel around the right side. He's had some good running room over that right side, and he gets inside the 15. It'll be third down. Clock is at 2 minutes. Of course, there's no 2-minute warning here in high school.
Third down and 4 situation though here for the
and Tornadoes will get it back. If they get it back, they'll have 1 minute. They'll have a minute left, or less than a minute left if they get it back. But you know what? They got to stop the Spartans here. It's 3rd and 4. Spartans can run the ball twice. Just a shocking series of plays to me in that Booker offensive possession. 3 passes. Handoff to Bethel coming around the left side. He's got the first down. He's inside the 10. Bethel's to the 5. Bethel scores. And Pace is going to the state championship next week in Gainesville. Bethel scores from 15 yards out.
Nothing fancy on that play right there. Took it around, took it through the 6-hole, right around his left guard, and then just cut it back upfield. The defenders just didn't have any gas left in their tank, and Bethel goes in 15 yards for the score. And it will be and barring a miracle with 1:28 left on the clock, it will be the Miami Pace Spartans, all 13 seniors of them.
And Cruz' kick is up and is good, and the score is 27-17 in favor of the Miami Monsignor Pace Spartans.
Well, it most likely will be the Miami Pace Spartans taking on the winner of Jacksonville Bolles and Dunnellon. That game going on in the Jacksonville area right now. Last update we had on that game, 13-0 Bolles was leading at the half. We will get an update on that score hopefully before the end of this broadcast, but if we do not, tune into SNN. Stay on SNN tonight at 11 o'clock. Antoine Smith will wrap up this game completely. His Friday night wrap-up show on SNN, 11 o'clock during the 11 o'clock newscast. Tune in, and they will have the score for that game, assuredly a final score from the Jacksonville area during that show.
Well, it's been an amazing year for the Booker Tornadoes. They go 13-0, but everything is on the line right now with 1:28 to play in the fourth quarter, 27-17 in favor of the Spartans.
And remember, they already have run one kickoff return back for a touchdown in the second half.
You got Phelps, who ran that 82-yard kickoff back, and Terrence Jones back deep, but I don't think in the Spartans' right mind they will kick it deep. The last time, Cruz actually fell as he kicked the ball, and it ended up squib picking, but that might have been intentional. Or maybe not the slip and fall, but certainly the squib kick. I doubt very seriously Cruz is going to kick this one deep. It's a driver, going to bounce. No, caught on the run by, is that Jones this time? He breaks the tackle and finally goes down at the 40, and that is Terrence Jones as he returns the ball over his 40-yard line with 1:23 to play in the fourth quarter. If there's desperation now, if there is desperation, it is now. And I go back to that previous Booker offensive series, and I think it was a little bit too early to push the panic button and start throwing the ball.
But he had to try something right there, try and open up the pass. They had run with Jones for most of the second half. Tried to open up the pass. It didn't work out for him this time, though. Still got time on the clock with 1:23 to go. It looks like Pace will drop back into a 5-deep prevent as the nickel package is out.
Yeah, they're going to rush 3 down linemen. And we got an official throwing a flag, and let's see what this is all about. It seems like it's a little bit too short to be delay a game. I thought the Tornadoes got up there pretty quick. Dead ball foul. Too many players on the field for the Spartans. Maybe that's what they've been doing this second half defensively to stop the Tornadoes or stop Terrence Jones. Put a 12th man on the field. No, I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with the way the Spartans came out and played this second half, Josh. They controlled the football at the line of scrimmage. Their running game, which really struggled in the first half, really came to life in the second half.
And the one thing they didn't let happen was the big play beat them.
That's right.
We've seen so many teams where that touchdown return would have ended the game right there. Booker would have just taken it from there. A lot of teams get down so bad they never came back in it. Pace went back to play their style of football, took that one play out of their mind, came back, drove the field, and got the field goal to put them in the lead.
Three-man rush. Salgado to throw the ball. It's caught over the middle. To the Spartan 40. Fumble the ball and out of bounds. Wow. And that's Terrence Jones. And here's your guy, Brandon Brown, number 40. Number 40, Brandon Brown, 6 foot, 185-pound linebacker. I'm telling you, Brandon Brown. 32 seconds and counting. 4th down for the Tornadoes. Wow. Brandon Brown on the tackle. 21 seconds, shotgun formation, 4th and 6. Salgado to throw, firing over the middle. It could be pass interference, as it looked like there was contact made on the Booker receiver, who was Terrence Jones.
No flag.
And it was Brandon Brown on the coverage, but it looked to me like Jones was bumped before the ball got there.
It looked like the contact came in just a little bit early, but no flag on the play. And that short of the pass wasn't even going to be enough for the...
That's it. The Spartans take over the football with 14 seconds to play in a 20-to championship.
And who would have thought this? If Bolles holds on as the 4 seed, the number 4 seed in 3A will be the highest seed to advance to the state final. To the state final in 3A. The number 1 team went out in week 2. The number 2 and number 3 teams went out in week 3, and now the number 2 team goes down in the state semifinal in the Booker Tornadoes.
Well, it's been a great season for the Booker Tornadoes. 13-0. They had to win some very tough games during the course of the year to achieve that. They've set numerous school records for victories, for advancing farthest into postseason play of any Booker team in history. And the game clock is down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and it is the Miami Monsignor Pace Spartans who are going to Gainesville to play for the 3A state championship, and you can see the way they are celebrating. This is a team with only 13 seniors. They have a world of talent coming back, and this could be the makings of a very dominant football program in the years to come.
This team was not getting a lot of respect coming into the tournament. The sports writers didn't even put them in their top 10. Got honorable mention. What would have been 11th place had the Monsignor Pace Spartans get 11th in the polls after the honorable mention. If you calculate it out like that, really not a lot of respect. 7-3 football team, but they showed everybody here tonight, they showed all their doubters, they are a state championship caliber team. They come out and do what has not been done all season long. They knock off the last undefeated team in Class 3A. They knock off the second-ranked team in Class 3A. They knock off the Booker Tornadoes 27-17 in Tornado Alley.
Yeah, I was real impressed with Jerry Millbrook. I was real impressed with Quentin Andrews, Carlos Bethel. I was real impressed with Jeremy Roberts, the quarterback for the Spartans. They really controlled the game the second half. But you know what? We had a chance to see Booker this year, and they're just as impressive now as they were when they destroyed Venice. Salgado is an outstanding quarterback. Terrence Jones is a great running back. They've got some real quality athletes on this Booker team who are going to go and play Division I college football.
Well, Booker sent 13 players to the Powell Bowl this year, which is the area all-star game in Sarasota, Manatee County. Coach Fred Gilmore is the Class 3A. Florida Dairy Farmers head coach of the year in Class 3A. A lot of good things came out of this Booker team. 13-1 school record for wins with 13 wins. The last team to finish the regular season inside the city, undefeated since '92. Last team in the area since the 2000 Venice Indians, who won the state title with a 15-0 record. So a lot of good things came out of a Booker team this year, and it just ended one game shorter than everybody expected.
Man, I'm out of breath, Josh. This has been a really exciting football game. I got to tell you, this is, when high school football gets to this level, you're playing good football teams. There is no imposter. There's no team at this point in the season, this deep in the playoffs, there's no imposter. Every team is a quality football team, and you really got to play mistake-free football. And I think the mistakes hurt the Booker Tornadoes early in the first half. It was just a very mistake-free second half for the Spartans, and that was the key.
And that was the key too. A lot of teams were not able to capitalize on mistakes made by Booker throughout the year. This year, Pace comes out, scores 9 points on turnovers, and that would only made this would have made that a 1-point game instead of a 10-point game. 9 points off turnovers definitely got to be a key. The penalties early on Booker has got to be key. 3 turnovers in the first half have got to be key. We'll take a break, come back with Antoine Smith down on the field for the wrap-up show here from Tornado Alley. This is the 2003 Florida High School Athletic Association's Football Championships on SNN Channel 6.
Here's
to Miami Monsignor Pace in a hard-fought game. As I've said, all this post-game right here. But I must say, the time of possession was a big factor in this game. Miami Pace held the ball 30 minutes to Booker's 18 minutes. So it's a big sway in there, especially with the turnovers that Booker had in this game. A number of penalties were factored in early in this game as well. But as we wrap up this show, I definitely want to say thanks to Jeff Rhodes and Josh Tyler, who called an excellent game, play-by-play in color, and to all the SNN staff that helped put this excellent program together for all you SNN viewers out there to sit home and enjoy in the cold weather. Actually, it's not as bad right now. But as we leave you, we want to say so long and thanks for joining us and watching this show. But here are the best plays of high school football from this year.
One, two, three, shout down! Get up, go get up. I put my Chevy in the game, make a little change. I got a voice and a little bit of pain. I can take all the pain, all the shots, know my way around all the blocks. Playboy with all the guns, 319, US 1. Lay it down, lay it down. One, two, three, knock out! A little light here, white with some Indian. I'm the one in the club to take your girl, and I'm the one in the club to drink some her. Yes, DJ Butch and I represent the field, and everybody knows it's the home of the heel, Tiger Hill. Coming to your town, in here, and then we're gonna shut them down, let them know where you're from. I hope you're ready, hope you're ready. We come, we represent, we don't show no fear. So lay it down, lay it down, lay it down in here. Come on, come on. Coming through, y'all already know. Play and rep your set, let them know. Let the bread in the bank just swell up. CEO, boys on the D-Lo. In the meantime, shake it fast. 850 Alcon, make it cash. You know Dre in town, so you might as well lay it down. One drop, set stop, T-town, T-top. Flip, flop, grip, stop. Ease off, breathe off. Need not, hey, dog. The cat wait, get about the way, dog. Say, dog, cold in the flow. So set the moving on go. Hitting on hold, Tiger Hill flow. 2 triple O, 8-5. 850 Alcon, make it cash. You know Dre in T-Town, so you might as well lay it down. One drop, set, stop, T-Town, T-Top, flip, flop, grip, stop, ease off, breathe off, need not, hate dog, if you can't wait, get about the way, dog, say dog, cold in the flow, so the losing, won't go, hitting on home, tiny hair flow, 2 triple O's, 8-5-0, came out, came out, lay it down, lay it down.